All right, and we are good. Welcome everyone to another. I'm gonna move this out of the way. To another session of Shadow Guardians TM.
Wow.
We'll go ahead and get started here with a real quick rundown of what happened in the last session. At least for the most part of kind of things. Maybe last two or so sessions, we'll say. So after the party had done its operation to stop the Memorem Retribution assault that was happening on Citiver, uh, they had received in the morning a distress call from their group that was currently headed north from the remains of them that had escaped Icon Fall after Tahari's sacrifice and now I guess capture by the Memorem Retribution forces. Crow, Brishk, and many other guild officers as well as Memoran soldiers who had managed to escape were heading up north to meet up with the rest of the party and the Lapsus Initiative forces, or I guess for short we'll just call them the Initiative forces. Um, arriving through a special teleportation based spell that Kaya is able to do, or I should say more like ability that Kaya is able to do, and being amplified by Lyshishka's raw spiritual aura. They managed to make it there within basically the blink of an eye, like covering hundreds of miles of distance pretty quickly, along with the armored knight Nameless, who happened to be needed for that altercation that would be coming up soon. Once arriving, the party would discover that an attack was underway, they known about it, but would thwart an attack that was underway by some stragglers remaining after the Icon Fall assault, who were seemingly still after Crow, wanting to take him. There, they would receive a couple new models, but specifically two new models of note: the Quan unit, I guess both vanguards. The Quan unit being the first one, a special vanguard that was seemingly made or redeveloped or developed upon by something that was found in the Vale's Heart facility and developed by Emiko's grandfather, Heleniah, specifically for, it seems, the express usage of Crow and Emiko together, as it has some specialities that exemplify out their paracausal abilities in some ways, as well as just being an all-around powerhouse of a unit in certain ways, with some very interesting and perhaps dangerous experimental weapons on it. However, we will get more into the details of that in the session. The other, being the booster unit, as well as the I should say auxiliary psionic enhancement unit for Nameless, known as the Glint booster. A unit that was, or a yeah, I guess a unit that was designed specifically to be used with Nameless, of course, but also for the express purpose of a intermediate to advanced level psionic user, or psionic ability, someone with psionic capabilities. In this case, it being Apani, who it seems at least that Lyshishka had this unit specially made for the purpose of Apani using it. After, of course, getting these units, they would fight back against the attack that was happening, and pretty quickly and efficiently just quell the entire force with an awe-inspiring amount of power. With Nameless not even really using any of its main new capabilities, just its speed mainly, and its switching of different speed modes, and the Quan unit using its powerful glaive, and at one point towards the end using one of the experimental claw units in its arms that happened to completely fricassee the unit that it was grabbing onto. Uh, but yes, after that, of course, the party would make their way, or the party would have the group that attacked them, most of them at least, surrender and take them into the ship where they would be as prisoners, kept until they would be able to reconnect with the rest of the initiative forces. During that time of finding a moment to relax and get back into the swing of things, and also just check to make sure everyone was all right, the party would decide to go, or I should say, Emiko, Apani, Latricia, and Crow would decide to go and speak with the captured Memorem Retribution members. These members, namely, pulls up names because I forgot some of their names. It was...
It was Trellis. It was, I think... oh, fuck, I forgot. It was like...
Tasai? Is that a name? Was Tasai one of them?
Yeah,
Let me just...
Desai. Yeah, Desai.
Tasai. Oh, shit. I mistyped that. No,
Someone
that's
also was
Tasalgi.
named Kai.
Did I spell that wrong? How did...
Kai.
Wait. You said Kai? Let me check.
No, there was also another person.
Yeah, it was Tasai. Yeah, sorry, I spelled Tasai wrong. So it was Tasai, Shia, Kai, Andrea, and Commander Trellis. Yes, you are correct. What the fuck is Orin and Barbosa? I remember them. Oh, they were. Never mind. I remember who they were. They were the guards outside, I believe. Yes. After. Sorry. So let me reconnect things. I apologize. But yes, they would meet with the captured individuals. Out of note, there were 5 major individuals. There were other people that were captured. I think a few more, but these were the 5 major people of note that the group fought. With 3 others not making it in the ensuing struggle, having been slain by Apani and Latricia in the Nameless unit. They were George, Hashi, and Multus that were, unfortunately, did not make it out of that fight. I guess unfortunate for them, not necessarily for you. After that, or in this ensuing greeting of the inmates here, the party would deliberate with them about their reasons for joining the Retribution, question a little bit of their motives and their actions, we'll say of late, especially as it pertains to the attack on Cidaver and the countless amounts of innocent people, as well as even Memorem soldiers that died in the assault, as well as what their potential future plans might be now that, well, they're captured and they're probably not going to be seeing the light of day, so to speak. There it was revealed a couple of backgrounds for some of the people, that all of the people here, namely, have suffered gravely at the hands of the Consortium, or at least one of the Consortium's main benefactors, we'll say. People like Darren Preach, for instance, and stuff like that. Or different foundries involved around the Consortium. But nevertheless, all of them had decided to join the Memorem Retribution within the span of the last the last like 3 or so years, wanting to get revenge or otherwise make some type of, I would almost say, some type of rekindling within the Memorem people for a different Memorem that would not be dependent on the Consortium. Seems like effectively most of them disagreed with the advent of the initiative from the onset, mainly due to the fact that they believed it was making Memorem almost complicitory, or even there's a word I'm trying to get, it's escaping my brain, subservient almost to the Consortium in a way, at least again from their perspective. Eventually this would lead into a conversation around the leadership of the Retribution, and this is where the Commander Trellis, would come more into view, speaking about how he had no real mixed feelings about the things they were doing, at least in the sense that what he expected and to happen, and also what his goals were, would still be, come to fruition regardless of his direct involvement as he saw it. And also, as he even, I guess I wouldn't really say countered, but even was supported by the way that Apani spoke, that if their group, as they believe, is doing a thing that will help Memorem, what their goal is would also see a good thing for Memorem. So in any case, he felt like no matter what he wanted, or no matter what happened to him, things would go well for the Memorem people. So he was at least satisfied there. However, he was not satisfied with the endangerment of his own people, which is 1, why he surrendered, and 2, why he had planned with certain others to do something towards the end of whatever this retribution would culminate into. In this case, that being the end of Tahari not Hakma. I'm so sorry, not Tahari Hakma. I've made that mistake a lot. Hawari Watar. There we go. The leader of the Memorem Retribution Force, as you know them. Trellis would reveal that Hawari is, perhaps we'll say, a simple man, at least in terms of what his aims are. And that his aims while many in the Retribution believe them to be more noble and perhaps more directly kind of supportive with the Memorem people and such along the lines, it seems as though others have noticed that his goals perhaps are a little bit more caustic than what they are initially led on to be, which might seem odd considering he is the main leader and almost the main spokesman for all of this, and that so many people seem to have been wrapped up in his words. That being said, Trellis would alleviate all thoughts of, at least in his eyes, to the rest of the party, that this man is to be trusted, or even the fact that he even trusts him, as he made it clear that yes, he planned on killing him once most of the Retribution's actions were completed. He also would reveal that he had, if the party wanted to find more information about Hawari, and also just in general, kind of banking on what Apani had mentioned about wanting to help them and other Retribution members in some way, they would find information or at least something that could aid them in this aspect. And a place that I didn't give the name of originally, but it's called the Mayhem Manor. And if you want the name of that or the spelling of that, I can type that in chat for you if you'd like. After my screen stops tearing. Anytime. Please stop tearing. Okay. But, there we go. Mayhem Manor. There you go. Look in Shadow Guardian's chat if you want to see what it is. For your notes. Okay. Sorry, I was tabbing back over. But in any case, after that, the party would be dismissed from the situation, and just simply would be awaiting their planned meeting with the rest of the initiative forces, where they were planning on meeting with Lyshishka, Ishine, and Kaya, and the rest of their whole party for a, well, seems to be a decision, some major decisions going forward. And that's where we will start today's session. So, oh, come on. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Yeah. There we go. Now then, all of you, we're going to go ahead and accelerate things a little bit. By, like, about 3 hours or so, since this happened. You, I believe in the last session, wanted the Memorem inmates fed. And you also specifically said you wanted them to have Memorem-based meals, right?
Yes.
Yes, I did. Yes,
Okay.
I did.
So in the interim of that, you would have seen kind of some of the fiascos happening and occasionally been able to like step in and do certain things. For one, when the guild people there, while there are some that are a little bit, I wouldn't say standoffish towards the Retribution members, they are hesitant to offer them any necessarily special treatment as they would see. However, they would kind of begin to just get on board with this more as after Orin after Orin would speak with them a bit more about like what you all had said to them and kind of like what was going on. They warmed up a little bit more to the idea of at least giving them a Memorem-based meal. The issue is none of them really know how to make traditionally Memorem dishes, so they would go and ask some of the Memorem soldiers on board. And this is where the bigger issue would happen. Many of the Memorem soldiers actually don't seem to want to have any involvement with the Retribution members. To the point where some of them actually had to be physically stopped from going to the area where the Retribution soldiers were kept, as they were showing, as the guild officer said, signs of aggression, we'll say. It seems like there is a very... Go ahead, sorry?
I think Apani would try to reason with some of them.
Okay. Roll me... go ahead and say what you're going to say, and that'll determine what you're going to roll. But to paint the scene for you, after, again, they agreed that, yes, we'll make them a special dish. We just need to figure out, like, a thing to do it. We have, obviously, the mess hall to do so. and the materials, at least for now, they would go and contact, again, some of the Memorem soldiers. After bringing them into the mess hall area and explaining the situation, most of them, you would just see a few of them kind of cross their arms and just affirmatively say, like, no, we're not going to make them food. Like, they don't, most of them kind of would, if asked kind of for, like, clarification as to why, like, from one of the officers, per se, they would just say, we're not going to fix food for traders.
I think Apani would say that I think it would be beneficial in the long run if we can reason with them, because we'll prevent even more bloodshed and more consortium bloodshed. Will just prevent more bloodshed from happening overall. A lot of them seem to be very misled and kind of lied to. Like, they have a whole perception of things that are going on. And while some of it has actually happened, not to say that the consortium definitely has caused a lot of hardship towards the Memorans, some of the things that they believe aren't actually going on. And I think if we can reason with them, maybe we can create a more prosperous future and also get closer to our target in hand who's causing all this in the first place.
Roll me a logic. Oh, go, sorry.
Okay. I was gonna say, we also have a lot of, like, similar enemies. This... what's his name again?
Hawari, you mean?
Yes, Hawari.
Yes, Hawari.
Hawari is honestly our biggest target in this, not necessarily every Retribution member. If we can take down Hawari, and convince a lot of the Retribution that they were lied to about all of this, that there's better approaches to fixing a lot of these issues, we don't need to kill all of them. We can just show them that there is a better future ahead. But I will roll logic.
As you kind of talk about them, they talk amongst themselves a little bit. Like, as you're kind of talking to them, you can hear, like, a little bit of the whispers. Like, some of them are saying, like, who is this? Like, and another one, recognized, like, oh, this is one of the people that were part of Shadow Guardians. Now, to put in context, they haven't heard any...
Can you help me out?
What happened?
Oh, what happened?
Imiko.
Oh, no. What did you do?
Ooh.
I rolled a 2.
They rolled a 2.
Okay.
Yep, so before you go, Imiko, and speak, they're kind of talking in between each other, and like I said, the context of this is they know, they start remembering, like, who you are. Obviously, they were on Icon Fall, so they recently have heard of your group, and your group has been involved around them. However, they don't know anything really that happened in Cidiver and other parts of Delra yet. Like, they know of the attacks that happened, but they don't know, like, the details of the dead. They don't know, like, for instance, they don't know if, like, Cidiver is still okay. Like, I'm sure the conversation has come up in just passing that, like, oh yeah, you guys came from Cidiver, so they know that, like, Cidiver wasn't destroyed. But they also know that there are parts of Memorem that were taken over, and they don't know the details on that. They're very out of the loop, so the only thing they know is that there were people on their side within their military, and they literally just experienced this, that turned coat, and when they didn't, stand down and obey their command, they started killing them, or like capturing them, like Tahari and stuff, for example. So that just as a context thing to their perspective, because you would be aware that they're very out of the loop, because no one has really told them anything yet.
Would it be breaking any rules for me to put them in the loop and explain everything?
Not inherently. If you're asking, like, guild-wise, no. There would not be any direct rules. I guess it depends on what you would say, but even then, there's not really a rule. It's just more of, like, some people might not want you to share certain things about operations and knowledge. But that's up to you.
I think Apani would, like, explain about, like, everything from people being turncoat to... Wasn't it, like, a specific, like, was it, like, a red tattoo or something like that?
Oh, you mean, are you talking about the Valiant Hawk and the Altus Regime people?
Were those the people that were in the, That
tried to burn down the town?
Yes.
Yes. They are
Apani would
they are
explain.
enemies of the Retribution. Technically, Memorem as well, but like they are not affiliated with the Retribution, so to speak.
But I think Apani would explain that to kind of explain why
Why the Retribution
the
did what they did.
retribution. Yes.
Okay, that technically
And
isn't inaccurate either, because in the if you remember in Shadow Guardians where it was posted, the actual like I don't know, it wouldn't really be a post, but like the speech that broadcasted, that was one of the things they cited as the reason they even acted to begin with. That and then the assassination attempt on Ishin, which again, you know the context of
like
that not
Ishin.
being true, but you know.
Yeah, I'm not giving them that. I'm not giving
Okay.
them because of Ishin.
Are you telling them
They don't
about
even like Ishin.
Ishin being the attempted murder of Ishin, or are you not? Are you just skipping that right now?
I think I would explain that, but I wouldn't say that that was the retribution's reasoning.
Okay, you would just say that like these two events, like the attempted burning of the Memorem and regular immigrant area June district, that's it. The June district
Yes.
immigrant area, and then also Ishin. There was an attempt on Ishin's life, and okay,
I think
yeah.
I
go
would
ahead,
try to like. I know that the reasoning probably isn't working, but I think I would just explain that like killing them would only breed a second killing all of them would only breed a second retribution, because there would be even more people falling for the lies of another dictator like what's his name again? I keep forgetting his
Hawari,
name.
sorry, because I keep mistaking it for
Hawari.
Tahari. It's Hawari. Yeah, Hawari and
would-
Watari is his full name.
No, I would say killing them would only breed another retribution, because they would fall for someone else's lies who's just like Hawari, and they would see all of the bloodshed happening to their people, and then this whole situation would happen again.
As you kind of explain,
Not
like
only that,
the details, they're kind of nodding along and listening. Go ahead, Pepper. Or Yumiko.
no, Imako will say not only that, but they're not worth your time killing them. By the time you're done, revenge is empty. People are already dead, and also those guys, people are also dead as well. And let me tell you, they're all broken.
There's a couple of like,
Yeah.
you can hear some murmuring behind the scenes a little bit. One of them kind of looks over to you. You can see it looks to be an older gentleman who you can see he's got. I wouldn't say he's like decorated in like different like stars and stripes, so to speak. Like not different medals, but you can see he's definitely more like seasoned Memorem soldier. Like you can tell by his stature and such. And his arms still crossed. He looks over and he's like, "You expect us to still help them though, because they're what? They might not be a threat right now."
It's not necessarily helping them that I'm asking you for. I want them to know that we are not the Consortium, and that we are not trying to kill all of them and cause them hardship.
It didn't seem to pay them much mind when they started shooting at us back at Iconfall, did it?
They were misled and under many lies. I mean, didn't they even think that we were holding Crow captive?
Kind of they look to each other, like kind of talking about that, like just like ruminating on that information, because again, that was new when they heard it too, when they were on top of the ship. And it says, "Be that as it may," he holds up his hand, kind of stopping the others talking. He's like, "Be that as it may, it does not matter. They still put the weapons towards their brothers and sisters."
They did.
Go ahead.
And I'm not saying that they don't deserve to deal with punishment, but I do think that in the long run it will be more beneficial to show them the truth and convince them that we are not their enemies than to kill all of them.
You gotta think.
We can also have them help them. I mean, we can. They can also help us, like returning your leader back.
He kind of looks over.
Probably.
He like raised an eyebrow to that. Help us.
Mm-hmm.
What possible help could they offer?
Tori, He's the real enemy. He's the one that's leading all of this.
And kind of look over. One of them you can hear one of them say, any one of them that's willing to fall victim to some pretender or something isn't any help to us.
Not necessarily, because the longer Hawari just runs free, the more bloodshed that leads to.
So you can hear another one from like one of the others. Like only 3 or 4 of them here, but another one kind of says, well, if that's the case, then why don't we just deal with Hawari? They could just stay and rot for all we care.
Yeah, and where exactly do you think Hawari is? Where do you think Hawari is?
Yeah.
If you may ask.
He kind of like mummers a bit, and one of them says, one of them like looks over, probably in Memorem, somewhere. It's only a matter of time till we find them.
Of course he's in Memorem, but do you truly believe that there won't be a new Hawari if we just kill him off and don't actually fix the problem at hand?
Do you especially think that he's working alone? He probably has more people like to work with, if he falls or he gets arrested. It's like cutting off a Hydra's head. Eventually, another one pops out after a while.
They're kind of ruminating on the information a little bit, but go ahead, continue. You can.
I mean, honestly, how do we know that, one, he doesn't have a group of people working with him that are hidden and less known about than he is and will take over once he falls? But two, how do we know that if we just go and kill Hawari, that doesn't just breed more hatred and make more Memorems believe that we're working with the Consortium and we want to see them all enslaved and do all this cruelty to them? We need to show them that we are not the enemy. Because this is a problem
and Ashin wasn't doing that? Ashin was doing everything he could to help our people. And then sit there and throw all of it away? For what? How many more of our countrymen have to die for this?
That's the thing, is Ashin is doing everything that he can, and he is making a massive change, but we need more.
One of them kind of remembers like, if we just got rid of them, they wouldn't.
If we just got rid of them, then there would be more. More would come. This is an issue that keeps growing. We need to nip it in the butt.
One of them looks over. Then the older one kind of looks over. Then what do you suggest? What, we feed them, they get well-fed, more meals, like model Memorems, we'll say. He kind of says with a side eye. And then what? I'm sure we're meeting. It sounds like we're meeting up with the rest of this initiative that was supposed to be planned. What are their plans? I imagine they involve taking down Hawari, right?
Yes, but I suggest 2 things. Firstly, we take down Hawari. Not only do we take down Hawari, we find out all of his connections and who he's connected with. We already know he most likely had connections to Darren Preach, but I'm sure there are a lot more that are connected to Hawari, because there's no way he could have caused all of this without having so many connections. Secondly, I believe that we need to get more proof on the connections between Hawari and Darren Preach, because a lot of the retribution does not like Darren Preach. In fact, they don't understand the real reason that they were supposed to go after Darren Preach.
And adding on to that, apparently.
And I think if
adding on to that.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
I was gonna say. I did it again.
Okay, we'll go. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Pepper. Go ahead, Pepper, real quick.
Sorry.
That's alright.
Adding on to what Apani said, apparently our answers might lie inside the Memorem City Tirata room.
One of them kind of mumbles the capital.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did one of them would say did the capital fall as well? Again, they don't know. So.
Nope. Didn't fall. You can
see there's like a very, very big like sigh of relief among the group when you say that. But.
They didn't fall, but there might be still people in there that are, retribution, hiding around, skulking about inside the higher places, low places. And that's why we want to get there. There might be information regarding Hawaii and his ilk.
Yes. I think if we can also get proof of all of these connections, especially the connection between Darren Preach and Hawari, and publicly show that they were working together, not just them, but all of the connections, and prove all the things that they were doing towards more people, the Retribution will most likely single-handedly leave Hawari's side on their own, which means that there will be less bloodshed. There will be less people
Not
dying
only
while we're still trying to
One of them
shut this
kind
down.
of looks over and says, the older one kind of says, even if they abandon Hawari and his damned cause, they might just continue mounting their own assaults.
Well, I think they'll abandon all of it. Because we showed them that their own people were in fact working against them. They're not going to trust Hawari or anyone who behaves like Hawari because they're going to see that they were just being used.
That's what you really think? He looks over.
Yes, I mean, if
honestly,
they see how... Oh, you go.
honestly, as much as I like to think that it might be foolhardy, might be foolish. I trust the 100%.
I mean, like, when we were just talking with them and they gave us more information, even some of their own people were confused and baffled and didn't believe the whole connection between Hawari and them. Some of them already want Hawari dead. If all of the Retribution knew what we know now, and we had undeniable proof, we publicized this. Imagine if we could publicize and stop them.
How do you know they weren't lying to you? Trying to get information out of you or something?
One, they're not getting information out of me. And two, why would they expose information on their leader as a lie?
Maybe a trap. They went after Crow, didn't they? What if they're still after all of you?
They did go after Crow.
But I also ask you something. It ain't all. Yes, they did. Fine. Go ahead.
You go first.
Gotta stop it, throw.
You said yes, they did. Is that what you said?
Me or Pepper?
Emiko, sorry. Emiko, did you say yes, they did in response to the what if they go after you? Or are they trying to go after you? Emiko?
Yes, they did, but... Yeah.
No, go ahead. I just didn't hear you
Hello.
first. You're good. Go ahead. Continue. You said yes, they did.
Yes.
Continue.
Yes, they did, but they were fed false lies, and that tells us more than...
And exactly. What if they're just doing this as one big way to trap you all or something? We saw how much they wanted to go after Crow. We barely managed to escape, and then they were still after us.
They were still after us, but they were also fed lies. If we can show them that those lies aren't true, then that will make them lose trust in the one that they're following.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta talk. Go ahead and roll me again.
That Commander Trellis looks like he's already... Not only that, it looks like he's accepted that he wants to do that murder suicide with Hawari.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
He says...
Not only that, to add on to that, there's people in his little cadre have dissents. So if we get proof, we can also might turn them around.
One of them kind of looks over, and Nick is like... one of them kind of says, well, that was Commander Travis.
You know him.
They kind of look to the side a little bit. Yes, I was under his...
Come on. Yep.
I was within his watch for some time. Before I moved to a different regiment.
What's your name?
Her name is, she would say her name is Irene. She would say, Irene.
Irene, would you say that this Trellis is a liar? It
kind of looks... I would have said no, but if that really is him in there that joined the Retribution, then I don't know what to say. She kind of looks down.
Do you think there is a possibility that people can redeem themselves?
This.
Also, what's the roll?
Logic, please.
Gotcha.
And then also, when you say that, there is a kind of pause in the room. Like, no one really. They don't say. Oh.
Ooh.
I'm rolling 2.
Yep.
My
They don't
dumbass don't know shit.
really say, like, anything between each other. They just kind of, like. They're kind of just static there for a moment. You can tell thinking. One of them kind of looks over. You got a 10, you said, Apani?
Yes. It's so bad.
One of them, well, remember hidden
got a
bonuses depending on what you say. So one of them approaches the older man, kind of looks over and he kind of says, or older gentleman, So you want us to feed them, a more meal? That's all you want?
That is all I'm
No,
asking you.
not just feeding them like fine meals. Treat them as more like treat them as a person.
You're
Instead
asking
of
for a lot,
subs.
Imiko.
They look over. They said your friend
You're
is
asking for a lot.
asking for more than what we're willing to give. However,
That is
we
fine.
can fix a down
Baby
meal.
face.
He kind of turns around. Irene, the others, warm up the girls. We're going to make a meal. They're kind of like, are you serious? Like, yes, it's just a meal we're making, nothing else. Besides, we have at least something to owe them. Kind of looks back to all of you. They did save our lives in that last battle. There's no guarantee we would all made it out.
Any, you know.
Momorans make good
any
on
stragglers?
the. What was that, sorry?
Any stragglers of your people that we can rescue just in case?
No, it is all of us within these last 3 ships here.
If you need anything and I'm available, I will always be here to help.
He nods.
You do not owe me.
He kind of stops as you say that, and he looks back and he says, "It is Memorem courtesy to always pay their debts."
This is not a debt.
He will walk back into the kitchen.
Oh.
And yep, they start cooking. The two there, like I say, I guess it's probably just Orin, because the other one is probably like still guarding. Orin kind of looks over at you, and he's like, "I'm impressed, I must say. I did not expect that to go so well. They were originally quite standoffish to the idea."
Well, they'll buy them.
No,
We'll get there eventually.
I can't blame them. I would be lying if I said there wasn't some animosity I felt towards those Retribution members in there. However, it is guild article. It is part of the guild articles to ensure that all inmates are kept after with due service. They are still to be treated as any other sentient creature.
Yes. I do not believe that anyone is wrong for being upset with them. They have caused great hardship. But I do think that if they weren't misled, they would not have committed a lot of their actions.
I have a question, if you don't mind my asking.
Yes.
Am admittedly, just as they are, out of the loop on many of the things that happened in Citiba and such. However, all the more reason for me to ask. You mentioned those Altus people with the red hawk symbols, correct?
Yes.
Would you extend the same courtesy to them?
If
Honestly,
I would
as long as they
the same.
recant their ways, then yeah.
Yes,
But
if they were willing to change their ways and willing to give back to the community that they caused so much pain to, then I would. I don't think people are inherently I don't think it's inherently impossible for a person to change or to attempt to make amends. Maybe they can never do as much good to make up for all of the harm that they've caused. But I do think people deserve to be given a chance if they are willing and sincere.
One of them, he kind of like claps his hands for a second, and he's kind of like, "Huh, that's an answer that I'd expect from any guild special officer. Guess that's fair. All right then, I'll do my part as well." And he will make his way. You see he starts getting like plates and things ready, helping them around.
Well,
You hear a thing
well,
on
look
that. You
at
hear
you,
Brisk's
Apani.
voice. Oh, good. Sorry. No, go ahead. Go ahead. You guys are
Sorry.
good.
Well, I think Imiko will like be smirking at Apani, and she punches her on the side gently, like, "God damn, you know your way around words, huh?
I'm trying
Nice
my
job."
best.
Apani in a diplomatic era.
You're
Yes.
starting to enter it. Yep. As that's happening, you can hear the doors in the mess hall open as you see Latricia, Crow, and Gwendolyn actually appear. As you hear on the comms,
Wow.
it says you hear Brisk's voice, Brisk's voice come on, and he says, "All right, everyone. It looks like we're about to meet up with the initiative forces. All the wounded, make sure they're ready for transports. All those who are armed and staying, get ready for briefings and such in different in rooms A through X. Oh, not X. Sorry, it'd be A through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, H. A through H." And you can see like there's different people in the mess hall. They kind of like start getting their stuff on, kind of finish up their meals. And Brisk will then say, "For Shadow Guardians, you'll be meeting on the initiative vessel soon. Please make your way to the hangar bay to meet up with Bathan. You'll be heading over to their ship for the meeting."
Okay. Who would be a guild officer that is not part of the Shadow Guardians, but above the people we just spoke to?
Aboard?
Yes.
There is some people. Let me see. Some of the people like Shishka left with Crow. They would be similar rank to you as special officers. One.
I think Apani would ask them to reward the people that are on the guild officers that are on, and the Memorem officers that are on the ship right now, that were with Crow, and thank them for her. And
I mean, that would be them. that you're talking to them. That would be them.
Provide them any food or reward them as much as possible.
They will nod. And they will relay the message to them. They will nod. They will say thank you for protecting Lady Lyshishka.
You're welcome.
Well, of course.
Which is funny, considering that technically you guys didn't necessarily, but that's fine.
Why she protected herself?
Yeah, you know, look, it's more of like the thing. It's more of
Why-
like you were present. That's more of like the fact that you all were present there.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you win a participation prize.
Yes.
Though there will be
Yeah,
some
you were
people
there.
that will come to you as you guys are in the hangar area. You would see a bunch of Memorem soldiers kind of approach. And they all reveal they have no. I'm joking. They all reveal the retribution. You see a bunch of Memorem soldiers kind of approach. One of them kind of sits at attention in front of the line of them, like the two rows, and they all give you a Memorem bow. And they say, and they will.
Memorem bow back.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do it.
It's kind of like it's a slight kneel kind of down too.
Huh?
Have you ever seen the Thinking Man statue?
Yes.
Oh.
It's kind of like that, but it's like a slight kneel down. With the fist kind of still held up. Instead of it being like at the chin, it's kind of in front of the head. So like, you know what? Is it called what's it called? It's a certain type of stretch where you have your legs at 90-degree angles. You have one of them at a 90-degree angle, standing with your foot, the bottom of your foot standing on the ground, and then your knee on the ground. What is that called? Oh my god. It's not flutter kicks. What the fuck is it called? Is it a lunge? Is that what they're called? I think it might be. We're gonna go with a lunge because that's what I think they're called. But it looks like a lunge where they have their fists instead of going to their chin, it just kind of is in front of their held aloft above their knee at a 90-degree angle, and then held at their head. They can do this as well standing, But it is usually the main thing is the fist kind of clenched, kind of like held up at a 90-degree angle.
Ipani will give them the same greeting.
Mm-hmm. And they will thank you all for helping their brothers and sisters amongst the summit.
Oh, Ipani will say, "You're welcome, and thank you all for supporting us.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We appreciate you."
They will nod to that. After, you can see they start taking some of the wounded, be it Gil, Memorem, etc., around, loading them onto different things. You'd see ships start like landing on the top deck, or aircraft land on the top deck, taking medical staff coming out to help people. You'd see some soldiers going off the ships as well, kind of helping get everything situated, do any repairs. Engineers start landing as well, doing repairs on the vessel. Just basically doing the rounds and making sure everything's all right. And then you would see Balin would kind of come down to the area as well, and she would say, "All right, all right, everyone, get in your suits. We need to go over to the other ship. Rich told me he's got everything held down over here." So.
I
Mm-hmm.
I head over.
All right, everyone. I assume Gwendolyn. You'll be picked up in Nameless's arms. Nameless, I imagine Apani and Latricia getting in and flying over. Crow and Emiko.
I'm going. It's the quad.
Yep. Get in, and you will be able to fly your way over. And you can see, now that you're outside of the ship and looking around, the initiative force that has come is, I mean, it's not as big as all the things you saw at the Citiver itself, but it's actually still a pretty sizable force. There is at least what looks to be, or it looks to be 4 consortium ships, they're like frigate size, so they're large ships. They're kind of like cresting on the either side. You can see it has a mariner symbol on the left and right flank. You can see there in the back there are 2 with the Forge Master symbol as well. They're kind of in the back flank, or the back flanks, I'd say. In the front, you can see is the guild ship you're heading towards is kind of leading a large guild, like almost battleship kind of, or no, it would be like cruiser that start sporting on like light cruiser size. So it's bigger than the frigates that are there. You can see also there are 4 the Memorem ships that you came originally with. There's 2 that come. The 4, unfortunately, 2 of them were destroyed on the bay, but you can see the 2 that are still there have been repaired, and they're making their way as well behind the guild ship. And you can also see that there is one noblesse kind of ship as well that is in the middle that is moving along. This ship looks like it's just a giant, it looks like it's just carrying a bunch of stuff, like minerals, resources, and stuff like that on it. Like refined materials and stuff like that, probably like for fielding operations and stuff like this, and yeah, they're just kind of sitting, behind all of you, or I guess in front of all of you as you guys are now moving towards them. You can see a bunch of different aircraft that looks like some Auroch Bane, the Aero Echo designs, like Harriers and things like that, flying over to the ships, helping people out, probably loading and unloading different things. And then there's in the back, also between the the Noblesse ship and then the Forge Master ships, you can see that there are about 4 ships. They're not as big as the frigates, but they're slightly smaller than them, I'd say. They're probably more like a head craft, and they look like they're probably going to head back. You can see that they're taking a lot of the wounded, and you can see medical or physicians coming out and taking different people into the further parts of the ship to probably heal and help them. So, outside of that, though, you guys will make it to the ship. Fine. Gwendolyn, is there anything you would like to say or do before you guys get to the ship and meeting? Or I guess any of you, for that matter. Because that's where you're headed, if not. All right.
You say anything?
Yeah, if you want to. I mean, you can see all this, so.
Huh. You know, But how many ships were there?
So there's the 4 large ahead class. There's the 2 Forge Master ships, 6. 2, what is it? Mariner ships, so that's 8. 1 large guild ship, 9. And then there is 2 Memorem ships, which is 11. Oh, yeah, actually, you know what? There's another 2 guild ships. I'm sorry. There should be another 2 guild ships. So 13 ships.
I think Imiko would let out a low whistle, like, damn, guess the county, you're right, huh?
There's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. It's a fleet. Like, it is an actual fleet. Maybe not the largest fleet, but it's a very capable fleet, you can tell. None of these aren't, like, basic ships. These are all of these ships actually look like they might have been, like, more staples of certain militaries. Like, the big noblest ship is, like, probably one of the biggest ships you've seen. It's like a barge. It's like a huge ass ship. But yes, outside as you guys are moving along, and you can see that there are different people coordinating and stuff around. There is. You guys would land onto the guild ship, the main one in the front, and they would kind of look over. They'd see like kind of you guys as armored knights land. There's definitely some like looks at first, like some people that have an initial bit of concern, but then when they see all of you come out of them, they're a bit more like, oh, okay. It seems like some people might be just frightened by the sight of the vanguards initially. Remember, some of these people might have been at the docks where the last time they saw a vanguard, it was blasting through many of their friends and their comrades. So
I think
I think Imiko would probably like once she like plops out of the mech, she'll hold up her hand like, "Oh, be at ease. You are being boarded." Like with like a goofy grin, like, "We're good."
They're kind of like looking at each other, and they just kind of shake their heads, and they kind of go back to work. Crow kind of steps out, and he's like, "Imiko, what are you doing?"
Hey, I'm just laying the mood, you know.
I guess so. And you would see as someone will, you can see there's 2 people that actually approach you. You can see one of them is Allure, and one of them is, what is it? It's Allure, and I had it written down. No, Balin went with you. I think it was supposed to be Allure and Balin, but Balin actually went with you. So I believe it's Allure and Check's notes. I gotta check my revised notes here. One moment. Oh, you know, it might be Allure and Kaya actually. Yeah. As you approach, Allure and Kaya will kind of walk over. Allure will immediately kind of wave over to you all and say like, "It's good to see all of you. I notice you've got some new things." She's like looking both the units up and down.
Yes.
Oh. She kind of says, "That Vanguard." She's like, kind of squints a little bit.
Which one are you looking at?
The Quan.
Oh.
I'm gonna roll to see if she can...
Can I observe, like, why she does that?
Yep. Ooh. Not good.
Wish.
She just kind of shakes her head. No, nothing. It's good to see you all, though. She kind of says, "So everything it looks like went well, right?"
Uh-huh.
She kind of looks over, like, past you guys, see, like, the ships. Looks like they took some damage. Retribution attack, then?
Yep.
We didn't encounter any when we went south. Maybe they saw how big the size of the fleet and they thought it wouldn't be worth it. I'm kind of surprised. We did track that there were a few that were in the area, but it seems like they maybe were fleeing. They were going down south. For the time being, based on reports, it's probably best if you hear at the meeting, but based on reports, it seems like they might have pulled back from the Consortium area, at least for now. Probably was just a fast attack.
That's good. At least they're pulling back.
For now. Lashishka says, though, that we shouldn't be we're not out of the, I believe the expression is, we're not out of the woods yet.
That is true.
Kaya will kind of step over as well, and she's kind of looking, and then she sees Crow, like, step out of the unit, and Imiko, and, like, a flash of light, you can feel some mass appear behind you, and then Crow is scooped out of the unit and just immediately bear hugged.
Oh,
Aw.
yeah, I think Imiko, like, will not react, but she will, like, turn around, arms, like, crossed with a smug look. See, come on, misses ya.
She is just holding him to her chest, and she is, like, a little bit tearing up, but she's just holding him and just kind of, like, just basically whispering his name, just like, Crow, so happy you're alright. Like, she's just very, you can tell she's very happy to see the Crow's fine.
I think, Imiko, like, if, catches, like, Crow's attention, she would mouth the word.
Say it louder, I couldn't hear it, sorry.
Yeah, she said, sorry, I don't know why I whispered that. She'll
Alright.
say, like, she mouths the word, tell her, tell her you love her.
He's like, you can see his face is, like, very much being smushed right now, and he's just like,
Hey, Epic, I think you should, like, ease off.
She looks over, she's like, I'm sorry, she, like, literally to me, like, I'm noticing a pattern with women and grabbing me. He likes this up. Okay. He's... he kind of catches his breath. Hi, Mom. How's it doing? She's, like, looking over at him. She's like, it's going much better now. He's like, that's good to hear. Happy to see you. Yeah. I'm happy to see you. He just kind of smiles looking at her.
Imiko, like, nudge him, like, not too subtly, like, go on.
Right. He reaches over and he, like, leans in and gives her a hug. He wraps his arms around her, and she just gives him a hug back. This time, less tight and more, like, gentle.
Mm-hmm.
And
there we go.
He says, I'm sorry I didn't tell you about this. I should have told you. I just, She's like, it's alright. I know you were trying to show that you can do things on your own. And she kind of, like, looks... You kind of, like, release him a bit, and she's like... And I need to respect that more. That...
See,
I
told you. Crow is capable.
He is. She looks over, nods. He is. Very capable. She didn't have any... She kind of says, did you have any issues with... He's like, no? He, like, shows... He kind of jostles the bands around his ankles, or around his ankles and his wrists. He's like, no, actually, they upheld pretty good. I was able to keep in control without much issue. Actually, I've been feeling pretty good about it, lately. Maybe. But... That's... It's not... I know you're worried about it, but it's not as important as other things right now. The retribution and everything. She nods. Right. We should head to the meeting room. Lashishka's there. Along with Ishin. And some of the other leaders like Macy and Koa. Oh, she kind of catches herself. I mean, Joe. He prefers Joe.
Joe?
Yes, the big shock man you met before. It's
Joe.
Yes, Joe is a nickname, but
leader.
he prefers to be called by that.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's the Marino leader. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I shall remember that.
And she will nod and say, well, if you she says, don't worry, they can load your unison. Jenna looks. So that's what Helen and I was working, and why you asked for our assistance in this new Vanguard. She looks it up and down a bit.
Yeah, our pride and joy. She like smushes her face on the leg.
She's looking at it. She's kind of staring at it a bit and looking at it. The face opens.
Yeah, they even have eyes. Kind of creepy.
Yes, that's not surprising. She kind of looks. She's looking at
I
the
like it.
mouth specifically. She's just like kind of looking at it. Crow kind of looks over. He's like,
I mean,
"Is something wrong?" He's like, "No, it's nothing.
you sh-
I was just curious."
can I make a mood check on that?
Yeah, you can roll mood.
Sorry.
If you'd like to as well,
Mm.
Lapani, you can, as you and Latricia are getting out of your units.
Okay.
Same with you, Gwendolyn. You are present if you'd like to make a move. Gwen? Gwendolyn. We might have lost Gwendolyn.
What?
Oh, there you are. Did you hear? Did you hear what's happening?
No.
Well, at least it's honest. You guys are currently on the ship. You just met up with the rest of the initiative and your main group. Kaya is currently looking. Initiative. Sorry, not initiative in terms of combat. The initiative is the short term for the group. The Lapsus initiative is what it's called. This is the conjoined.
Figuring out what we're doing.
Yes, you're gonna be doing. You're about to head to the meeting, but they are looking. Kaya is currently looking at the Quan unit, oddly, and they're trying to figure out why she is, because she hasn't said. So they're rolling moods, and you are able to roll a mood if you'd like.
I sure I can roll a move for her.
Yes.
Well, that's probably what I'm
Damn.
All right. Apani?
I rolled a 7.
7.
Damn.
Well,
I-
Emiko notices, I'd say, and probably we'll just say it's based on distance. Apani and Gwendolyn, as Gwendolyn's getting let down off the arms of the Nameless unit. Emiko, you kind of look over. Kaya's looking at like the mouth and some of the joints of the unit, and she kind of mummers something under her breath for a second. She's like, "That's odd." For a second, it almost seemed. And like that's when Crow says, "Is something wrong?" She's like, no, nothing. It's nothing."
When
And
she says that, when she says like, almost feels like she finished the sentence alive.
She pauses when you say that, and she kind of looks over. So you notice too.
Yeah, it ain't that much of a bother. So as long as it's like, not gonna eat us. So, aren't you, big girl?
You can hear the unit's voice. Well, I should say the Guardian's voice come on that says, "I am currently syncing with the Guardian that is aboard the vessel right now. Once I am, I will be more in sync. I will be more in sync. It will be as no different than the other unit." Oh, interesting.
Nice.
And then it stops talking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a Guardian unit. Helena, Grams is Helena AI.
So it's a subunit of the one that's on the ship already? I wonder if it's got different properties. Well, in any case, we can discuss that more. I'm sure one of the main topics of discussion will be the new units. Crow kind of says, he nods, he's like, they're not the only new things we brought too. Oh, and he kind of looks over. Uh-oh. Lewis he's fighting the demons of sleep. I said he's fighting the demons of sleep right now. But, yep, you guys will get brought into the room. Into the meeting room. This ship, like I said, it is a bigger, kind of light cruiser style ship. And it is... it's got, it's definitely guild architecture, design, and things like that. It's more modernized metal kind of parts of the ship as opposed to, wood and things like that. There are some interesting additions you can see. For instance, there is, as you're passing by different sections of the ship, there's, engine rooms and stuff like that. And you notice it doesn't have... For a sea vessel, this ship doesn't actually have... I'd almost say propellers, like the aquatic fins. It doesn't have that. It has thrusters. But just something of note that you notice. And as you can see, like there's a lot of people like running around, obviously like getting things ready and making sure everything is like working fine. Probably getting in like new people. You can see it looks like there's some people from the ship you actually would see like walking around, like the other ship that you were on, that are getting acquainted with like different things. People are showing them like, okay, you're gonna be monitoring this system. This is how this works. You know, you're like, you can see someone's like, all right, we're in the CIC division, so we're going to be communicating with all different squads. They're using mechanized infantry or going around the battlefield, things like that. You can hear there's people like discussing like, is this all that we're getting? Or it's like, we're expecting more guild ships to be coming with a second wave, but we're the initial wave. We'll probably be like this for the first, here for the first week or so. Or the first week to 2 weeks. And they're like, like, do you think this will be enough? And one's like, it should be. This is one of the new models, new modeled vessels from the guild. So they're, they're talking a bit more. As they start to get more acquainted, the mood shifts from concern into like fervor. So, and eventually you're brought to a room that has sliding doors. You can see that Kaya puts her hand up to it and opens. And as that slides open, you can see you're in a large room. It reminds you of your meeting room in your base, the circular room. With the table, it has a kind of it has the ring table with the central kind of platform in the middle, and not on the platform per se, but around the table you can see sitting is 2 people. You can see, actually not 2 people. You can see multiple people. You'd see Kaya, who is, or not Kaya. You see Lashishka. I apologize. Kaya is about to take her seat. Lashishka, who is currently sitting down. There are 2 guild people. You can see a Dragonkin woman who seems to be a white-scaled Dragonkin woman who seems to be talking to Lashishka about different things with some papers in her hand. You can see there's this larger kind of Dragonkin and Sylvan mixed woman who has also got like this brilliant fur that goes down her back and to her tail. This kind of like fox, like Sylvan dragon tail mix. Funny enough, you, Imiko, you might recognize who this is. All of you can roll local regal. Imiko, you can roll recollection.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna roll that on the Discord. Just want to make sure.
Yep, you're fine. Gwendolyn, you can also roll as well a recollection. You might know who this is.
No.
Is your recollection? Your recollection might be high.
My recollection.
It's an 8.
What'd you get?
I got a 10.
A 10. Apani, did you roll?
Yep.
My recollection is 3, so that puts it at.
Sorry, I forgot what I was supposed to roll for again.
Recollection or well, for you, local regal, I would say.
Okay.
Is your local regal better? Either of you, Imiko or Gwendolyn?
I do have a 6 on local regal. Yeah.
Okay, if you'd rather use
Yeah.
that as your wait, your other one was a header bonus, wasn't it? It was an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no.
My
Gwendolyn.
local read was better than recollection.
All right, then go with that one. Oh, sorry. Well, in that case, both of them don't immediately remember. Actually, the 10 might. 10 and 11, they might. I had it at a 12, but like I might give it to you. Let me see.
See.
We'll
That's
see.
a
Yeah,
9.
I'll give it to Gwen. I'll give it to Gwen since she's within 1. Gwendolyn, you recognize the 2. One of them a bit, well, I'd say one of them a bit more. A former, or you would say both of them are former members of the Dogma military. You're not sure exactly what branch, but you can tell certain cadences and certain ways they carry themselves. Also the weapons of choice they have specifically. Also, you recognize the Sylvan Dragonkin woman. They seem to be... You at first you're kind of like tripping on the name, but then you remember you remember it starts with S, and then you remember by looking at them as they kind of look over towards all of you and give you like a wave, there's kind of like a glisten off of their scales, and then you remember it. Their name is Shimmer. They are a very prominent blast gladiator from a group that's one of the more prominent guild teams, known as Uber Tausei.
Uber
They are
Tausei?
Uber Teo or Tausei. They are a very, like I said, they're a very prominent guild team in the guild union. Usually on the lines of adventurers, so they technically qualify as special officers now. Most of them, or at least most of their leadership does. Shimmer is one of their specialists, so she is probably here helping with communications and probably helping also with certain types of combat leading. Also, I'd definitely say you could probably tell, like, they're probably being, like, in a leadership role, probably lead certain squadrons and stuff like that. On top of that, the other one you're not sure, but certain things about them screams to you that they might have been in some type of intelligence involving Dogma. You know, like I said, you know that both these people are probably former Dogma, like, military related. Shimmer, you know for a fact it's like not even like a hidden secret about Shimmer. Shimmer used to be a member of the Scale Vein, actually. She was a blast gladiator as opposed to a regular, usually like a guardian. They trained both. And then this other one, like I said, you're not sure about. Lyshish kind of looks over to you all and says, well, she kind of says, good to see that all of you are alright. You may take your seats as Kaya starts to sit down. Latricia kind of looks over and squints for a moment, and she says, Contel, is that you? And they look up, you can see the white scale dragonkin kind of looks over, notes this is Latricia, and she kind of looks over to Lyshishka and just says, if that is all, miss, then I will be taking my leave for the day, or for the moment. Lyshishka kind of looks over and she says, do you not want to... And the woman who seems to be named Contel seems to leave a different door. Latricia kind of looks over to them, but doesn't say anything.
Is everything?
Is what, sir?
Is everything all right? She's like asking Trish.
Latricia says, yes, it's someone from a long time ago.
Oh. She had like a little teasing toenail past the lover.
No, more like... She kind of thinks. We were both in the program.
Oh, sorry.
Kroger's kind of like elbows you a bit, like, jeez.
Ow. Hey, I didn't know shit.
It's just like, it's fine. It's nothing to worry about. If anything, I'm just happy to see that she's alright. I didn't hear much from her. I know that she left the program, but... Well, all of us did. But I'm happy to see that she landed somewhere. And it's putting her talents to something good.
Yeah, she certainly doesn't look happy to see you, though. If I could be frank.
She kind of nods. Yes, we all have difficulties, with things.
Yeah, maybe you should go talk to her sometime when we're done with the meeting.
Maybe. I'd like that, actually. Yeah. He kind of looks over and he's like, if you need someone to bounce off of, I don't mind going as well.
Yeah, me too.
She nods. I assume while this is happening, all of you are taking seats.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. You can see, also, Gwen, I assume, are you taking a seat as well? Or are you just standing?
What kind of chair is it?
They are nice. They are like, as in, like, what is the quality of the chair, Gwendolyn? These are nice chairs. Yeah, sorry?
Can I sit on it backwards? Like...
Oh, with like your feet over the headrest and your like your back against the seat, that type of thing.
No.
So what do you
Is it-
mean by backwards? I'm confused.
You know how sometimes people will grab a chair and they'll sit on, they'll lean their chest on the backrest.
Oh, you're like
And-
leaning over the chair. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you'd
Kind of
like
the
to.
Captain America thing. Captain America pose.
Mhm.
yeah.
He just
Okay, yeah.
sits on the chair.
Yes, you can do that.
It's like a menacing way to sit in a chair.
Mhm.
Why?
Why not?
Gwendolyn decided to do that. These are roller chairs. Well, some of them. Well, no, yeah, they're all roller chairs, but they are very comfy roller chairs. They can recline. They can do a lot. They got some nice.
Is it spin?
Yes, it does spin.
I'm spinning. I'm sitting in it backwards
And you're
and
spinning.
just spinning.
Spin,
Gwendolyn
spin.
starts spinning.
I think when Inko sees it, I think she's gonna like help by pushing her like to spin around, spinning
Yeah.
around a lot.
Gwendolyn, as you're spinning, you would also see someone into the room. They are looking better than when you last saw them. You can see that someone immediately goes over to help them. You would see Allura actually rushes over to help them, unless you would like to, Gwendolyn. As you can see, the dreads kind of hang low over their shoulder as they kind of walk in on some crutches. You can see it is Brew. Who's got his arm currently like in a sling in his chest, the bindings around his chest and things wrapped over. He's got like a kind of gilled jacket over his body. Part of his torso is exposed, and he's still wearing like shorts, but he is just kind of like walking in slow.
Damn, what Chopper to shoot him out? What happened to him?
He kinda looks so bad.
What's wrong? What happened to the guy?
Do you not remember Gwen? Oh right, Gwen. I don't think was
Yeah,
here
she
for that
wasn't.
session. Okay, so you would know because you were actually the one who cared for him for the first day of this. Remember when Brew showed up and saved you all, and I told you he blacked out after that session? This is the summon attack. Do you remember it?
I'm just gonna say yes.
I mean, if you don't, I can try to like jog. That's what I'm trying to jog your memory. So, okay. Do you remember the summon attack?
No.
You don't remember the summon attack. What is it?
No.
When you had to fight against the Retribution, Neil showed up, destroyed Imiko's unit, then almost destroyed your unit.
I thought my unit was destroyed.
I said was.
Or
Oh mine.
yeah, I remember that my unit.
Yeah, and do
haven't
you
get out of
remember?
it.
So do you remember that you're remembering the fight? Do you remember the summon? That's the summon attack. Do you remember that? Like the several waves you had to fight.
Yeah.
Okay. In that fight, do you remember when Brew showed up and he like he like shoulder rushed into Neil or someone's unit and knocked them out of the way and started squaring off in a heavy damage unit? Okay.
Yeah.
And then yeah, you should remember all that. Brew had to jump out of his unit and get carried by Macy, who showed up in their Blazecaster units. I think it was a Magni. At the end of that session, while Brew was getting carried off by Macy with the other Memorem dude, they said that Brew had blacked out and they weren't sure why. And the last thing you heard in the transmission was Macy said, "We're gonna go to the immediate hospital, like one of the immediate like medical tents. Brew needs immediate medical attention because he's bleeding out. He was like bleeding all over her arm." Later that session, they found out what the deal was. Brew had suffered, I believe, a severe hemorrhaging wound. He was basically bleeding out very badly and several broken ribs. He had been wounded severely, and some stuff that happened before he arrived there, and he was just running off of adrenaline when you encountered him, right? So when that adrenaline wore off, he and blood loss, I guess, caught up with him. He passed out and had to be immediately helped. Later that night, when they were all confronting Brew about the whole him being part of the Retribution at one point, your character was basically the one that was helping him around and stopping him because he wanted to get into an armored knight and try to go save Crow because he felt guilty about everything that was happening. This is when the group also confronted him about the Retribution stuff. Again, you weren't here for this part, so this isn't something you would necessarily remember, but Gwendolyn knows. But yeah, Gwendolyn was basically the main physician, and also the main person that defended him, because that was what you mentioned about how you said you would be willing to, like, help Brew, especially if he explained the situation, and I told you the explanation, you were like, yeah, then I defend him. That was what happened, so I just played it as, like, you did. Yeah. So,
Did he undergo surgery?
Yes, he did. You were part of the reason he did. You helped him with that. Like, you were
I was
part
gonna
of
say, I have a thing where I reduce surgery time.
Yep, yep. That's why I said, like, you were one of the main ones that did it. Outside of just being his, like, one of his best friends here. Like, you were the one that, like, you have the medical expertise to do so. So, you were, until you had to go, of course, the next day, you were the one that, like, sutured him up and everything. And did a lot of the checks on him afterwards. So...
Does that give me profession time?
Yeah, it would. And
the
physician... I'd say probably, like, 6 hours worth, like, overall, of profession time. For the physician.
I don't know out of how many, but
well, you probably have gotten some time, but we'll figure that out later. But for right now, yes. You have the yes, you are aware of Brew's condition. He is looking better than he was when you last saw him. He was literally like in bed. Like he was. The reason why you stopped him from leaving is because he would have probably died if he tried to go in a fight like that. Like, he could have opened up his wounds and started bleeding more and things like that. Obviously, he can move around a bit more, it seems now, but you can tell he's still recovering. Probably recovering faster than normal, thanks to you and other guild technology. But, he's still going to be out of... He's going to be out of fighting at least for another week. Probably, like, that, and that's being generous. He probably shouldn't fight, at least for another few weeks. You think. But, you know, Brew can take it. Anyway, outside of that, he arrives in the room, and as you said that, you're like, what happened to you? Like, and it kind of, like, comes back to you as you say that, like, everything that happened. He's like, he gives you, like, a little half, like, 2-finger salute, and he's like, oh, don't worry about me. I'm doing fine. Pain meds just haven't kicked in yet. He, like, looks over. I can still make it to a meeting. He looks over at all of you. Look, I know that you're all still mad at everything. And you have every right to be. I just... He, like, kind of looks down. I just want even if you don't trust me, I want to still do something to help. If there's anything I can do, I better be informed about how to do something.
On that condition.
He looks over. Well, I might not be getting into any fistfights anytime soon, but that doesn't mean I can't do communications and such.
Yeah, I don't want blood all over the mics.
He chuckles a bit. I'll be better than so time, don't worry. He'll like you can see Allure kind of like helps him to his seat. He sits down. He's like, thank you, Allure. She just nods and she'll take a seat. Yeah. She kind of he looks over. Does that mean that Titus will not be joining us? Lyshishka says, Titus will be informed of things, do not worry. Alordra says, it doesn't matter to me. Lyshishka just kind of nods to that and says, right. He is currently being debriefed in regards to things.
I'm guessing it's going well? I haven't seen him in a while.
Yes, it's going... She kind of thinks. It is going. I think Titus is resilient and resistant to things. However, he's not in the position... Yes, he's not in the position to be as stubborn as he feels like he can be. Unfortunately, trust is a difficult thing. Rick kind of looks down a little bit. And some people are taking strides to prepare it, and some are not. She kind of looks over at Allure. Allure kind of like just... She looks to the side and just says, I said it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. How you holding up there, little girl?
She looks over.
How
I'm
the?
holding up fine. I'm
Yeah.
ready to get into things.
Hey.
She kind of says, was going to request something later.
Yeah. Also, if you ever need to talk or hang out, me and the others are always willing to hear you out once it's over.
Of course. Well, we still have a lot to worry about, so. And don't worry, I'm not leaving anytime soon. Much to what my mother wishes I would do. This fight is as much mine as it is any other Alto's. Retribution isn't just threatening Consortium, or the Lapsian part of the Consortium. The Alto are included in that, even if she doesn't see that yet. She kind of looks. You can see she's. There's a little bit of something, even with like a passive mood. All of you could pick up on. There's a little bit of like, maybe frustration you get off like the idea of, but she doesn't say anything.
You do know that you're making a trap. Never forget that.
They're making what, sorry?
You do know that you make your trap proud, right? Never forget that. Despite your mom's misgivings, I think she's proud of you as well.
Lyshishka kind of looks over. Be that as it may, Balin will take a seat. She just looks over. Lyshishka will say, we'll be wanting a report as well from you. She's like, right. Oh, actually, there is some things I want to talk about. She looks over. Crow, I imagine you're going to want to say something too. Crow kind of nods. So, let's get into things. Lyshishka says, let's. Now that everyone in the Shadow Guardians is taking a seat, let us begin. She will press something on the table, and you see the room kind of darkens as the platform in the middle begins to illuminate and project something. And she will say, here is the current situation. I'm going to pull up the current situation. Ah, here it is. Whew. Sorry. Nope. Ah, here it is. A quick summary of things, or a quick identification of some things. Currently, right now, we are a 13-person. I should go say it. Currently, right now, we are a 13. We are a 13-person fleet, a 13-ship fleet, consisting of Consortium, Control Guard, Forge Masters, and Marinas, as well as Auroch Vane Air Support, Guild Union officers, as well as the Noblesse Corps. I believe it'd be the Quarter Hold, or not Quarter Hold. It would be. I think it'd be Quarter Hold. Yeah, the Quarter Hold. We are expecting to see. Of course, and as well as the Ishin's Memorem groups. We believe that this will be the main group we have, at least for the first wave of offensives. We expect support to arrive within the next, give or take, 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks. However, and you can see Macy and Koar, they haven't said anything yet, but they kind of like nod. Macy says, unfortunately, it seems like people back at the Consortium aren't exactly fully on board with this whole thing yet. They only sent us, mainly because we said that we wanted to go, and they allowed it with the 5-person council impromptu vote. Unfortunately, if we want extra support, we're going to actually have to do some substantial gains with this initiative. I think that's the only way Eric, Reinhardt, and the others will be able to convince the rest of the council that it's a good idea. Joe kind of nods. He kind of, Unfortunately, that is the case, yes. Kind of looks over and he says, though I imagine that we should not have any problem with that. Binding results, I mean. Shishka nods. Be that as our current fighting force, we also of course have the Shadow Guardians, the special unit here. You will be insurmountable in the next few operations that we plan to conduct. We plan on conducting at least a few in the meantime to some major ones, which I'll get into later. Past that, we do have current reports and news as of Memorem's status. Ashin, she'll look over. Ashin will nod. He will sit up, and he'll click something, and you'll see the projection shifts over to a topographical map of Memorem, and it starts to highlight 5 sections you can see. He will seek. These are the areas that we expect that there's going to be resistance from the Retribution. They have taken over these areas, as you can see. Mainly military supply lines have been cut in these sections, as well as certain gags on information. We're getting some moles that are beginning to squeak, but it's a slow process. And because of he points over to one specifically, Row's current seizure of certain areas, it's hard to get a message from the main group of Consortium Council in the area. That, he kind of says, that being said, I don't imagine they're going to be able to keep Row for much longer. Even without my presence being there, the moment that they knew that I was alive, they were more willing to fight against the Retribution, it seems. I don't know what that means for Hawari and how he's going to deal with things. I would hope he would not hurt our people in an extreme way, but he's not the man that I once knew, unfortunately. Guy shakes his head. Besides that, these 5 areas will be something that we'll need to deal with in some point or some way or another. He looks over at Lyshishka, and Lyshishka kind of motions for him to continue. I must ask, I wish to have some of my people, if possible, be spoken with. Members of the Retribution, I mean. He kind of nods his head. I understand that is difficult of a question to ask of you, or a request of you all. But, if possible, I would like to avoid the bloodshed of my people more so than there already has been.
Alright. We can make do on that. So just aggressively pacify them. Incapacitate them.
Kirk kind of nods, and he says, yeah, if we can avoid killing people, Memorem or otherwise, we will try to take that route.
Yeah.
He kind of bows his head, and he's like, I thank you, all of you.
Hey, don't thank us yet. This one ain't over yet.
Right. Ashishka says, that leads us to one of the other things. Speaking of the war, or the effort of it, identifying our main targets and such. First, however, a little quick summary. You all have heard of the foundry known as Adala Enterprises, correct?
Enterprise. What was that above board?
Adala Enterprise.
Adala Enterprise.
I almost said a prize. Gwendolyn, Apani, Imiko, if you'd like to make a local regal, you can. Knowledge technological, or a...
Ooh.
Yes, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Let me just see it. Plus for technological.
Gwendolyn, you recommend... What was your role, Gwendolyn?
A local regal.
Okay. And then Apani?
18.
Oh, I don't think Apani's here right now. That's okay. 18, you say? Okay. Whew, sorry.
All good.
So, they will, as they say the name, a couple of things. So, both of you did local regal, right? Or did one of you do technological?
I did.
You did technological?
Yee.
Okay, so I'll go with the local regal first. Gwendolyn, this has come up a few times around your group, not necessarily directly towards it, but it came up a lot when you guys were headed on your way to, Sorry, I was taking a drink. when you guys were headed on your way to the summit, and also a little bit before then, Audalot Enterprises ostensibly is a as I'm pulling up the notes, because I remember off the top of my head, but I don't want to misquote certain things. Audalot Enterprises is ostensibly an engineering technological development company that does expeditions across Memorem. And the reason that it comes up specific, or like why you remember it so vividly, is it came up specifically with the units that the Memorans use, the Armored Knight. They're the main developers of it. And specifically, the newest development they've had is the, what are they called? The Gadab units. Both versions of them, but the black and red Gadab units that you fought that had Neil in them at the summit, and then the regular Gadab units that were the matching colors of the regular Memorial military, that purple, tan, and like brown. It seems as though they are, in recent months and years, they've become a lot more pronounced. Generally speaking, they are the main developers of Memorem-based mechanized infantry and vehicle weaponry as of 15 years ago. While they're prominent in Memorem, they had until recently not really broken out of the sphere of influence in outside of like Memorem and Lapsus especially, as they were less funded and less developed comparably to many of the contemporary foundries and companies in the area, like or the region, like Chevalier or Institute Chevalier, Leonidas Vector, the Blaze Casters, for instance, like just to name a few. There's a bit of history around why, and I'd say Gwendolyn, you would know probably just because of your like general technical knowledge. And then this is also where a bit of Emiko, your information comes from, because you remember the unit specifically, the Gadab units and such like that.
Yeah.
You made a couple comments about them originally and such like that too when you first saw them. Audalot Enterprise's like design philosophy and technology and like just technological know-how, you probably like glance in some of like, for instance, like Crow's notes, because he keeps a pretty good record of many different types of design ideas and stuff like that from different groups. They seem to focus on a mix of land and like traversal based kind of like upgrades and augmentations for vehicles and such like that, specifically over mass swaths of land like sand and coarse areas of gravel. So a lot of their vehicles and design and like philosophy is based around that principle of like movement across like rather uneasy like sandy terrain and stuff like that, or grasslands and stuff, which makes sense because of Memorem's current ecological situation, right? On top of that, they recently became like a bigger name after a acquisition, so to speak, that happened in around, I believe it was AW7, yes. Memorem was beginning to border the end of its civil war, and though the company was still recovering from some things that I'll get into in a moment, they managed to kind of like latch a deal with the Gargada Foundry from Gobi, who began pumping a bunch of money and resources into them. And this has been happening for at least the last 3 to 4 years. And this has resulted in them just exploding in terms of development. This is why, again, the Gadab units are actually pretty decently made units, like comparable, even better than some of the standard Chevalier units that have been released for a while. But in terms of those details, Gwendolyn, Audalot Enterprises was kind of held back for a while due in part to certain stigmas around Memorans and certain groups around the Lapsus sphere kind of collectively blocking them from a lot of their potential sales in the region, by spreading rumors and various different like espionage kind of like company secrets and or like what would I say, like engagements to kind of like thwart them. This suppressed them and only kept them really within Memorem in terms of their commerce and like business, right? However, when they got that surge of money and involvement from Gorgata, this kind of managed to break them out, and now there's even Autolot Enterprise technology and stuff like that being sent to like parts of Dogma and then south in the Gobi area. So it seems like Gorgata has done a lot. Gorgata seems to have pushed a lot for the development of this company, mainly to kind of do a lot of their more experimental things, and also to kind of push their influence in the Lapsus region, as Gorgata didn't really have a sticking figure, a form, or at least a sticking like hold in the Lapsus region at the moment. So pretty much all that's both of what you kind of remember, and I imagine, would you any of you say this to like the rest of the group?
Yeah, I think I share the knowledge of what I know about the makers of the Gadab.
Okay. Gwendolyn, would you share a bit about the history and the stigma stuff that was mentioned?
Yeah.
Okay. So they kind of nod, like Lyshis just kind of nods, and she'll say, "Yes, that concurs with the information that we have. However, there is some recent discoveries you should all be aware of." Ishin will say, "We believe that an affiliate of the Retribution is working. We believe that an affiliate of the Retribution is working with or embedded as a member of Autolot Enterprises, or potentially even Gorgata. We believe they've been aiding the Retribution for some time now, with weapon deals and development information." He kind of looks down. "Unfortunately, right under my and other officials' noses, it seems. Regardless, it would explain a lot." Macy kind of mentions, "Yeah, if that's the case, Autolot Enterprises being the main developers and everything, that's how they have such new tech. The Retribution has new tech and everything. But what about the resources and commerce? I don't think an engineering firm can do all of that, right?" She kind of thinks for a minute, like she says, "More to that in a moment. That being said, I have another," like she will say, "I have another suspicion. May not necessarily be. I think that this might not necessarily just be about the Retribution, or the intent of aiding the Retribution. I need more information to confirm my hunches, though. But I have a feeling that there's ulterior motives with who's ever involved with this." And Sheen kind of looks at her. He's like, "Ulterior motives?" She kind of nods. "I don't think it's a coincidence that Gorgata began pumping funds and development information into Autolot Enterprises after the last few years. Nor do I think it's a surprise that someone in Autolot Enterprises would supply a war effort to a terroristic group. I think that someone might be testing some things." Machine kind of looks. You can see his fist kind of balls up a bit on the table. He's like, "Are you saying that someone? He's like, "Are you saying that this person is using our people as what, test subjects?" She kind of says, "I don't have any confirmations yet, as I said, Ashin. But when a bigger player like this appears, there's usually a bigger motive than simply just getting more money." Though it can be though it can be the source. Well, any case, we'll find out later. Machine just kind of nods. That being said, this is where the rest of, when we get to operations and such. There's a few things we're actually curious about and we combed over. You should look over. Balin, Gwendolyn, I believe that you extracted some information from Neil's unit earlier. The armored knight that you were fighting, the Black Gadab unit. We were cross-referencing some of that information. Balin kind of nods. I saw that too. Or, my voice, sorry. I saw it too. It was quite interesting. I think that who's ever using this unit. She kind of stops herself. I mean, Neil is in a lot of danger using this unit. Shishka kind of nods. How much do have the rest of you looked at this information yet?
Nope, not yet. So what's on it?
Show them the screen, and she said you can see that there's a unit, the Gadab unit's shown there, and it kind of zeroes in the cockpit area. It seems that all of the units are equipped with some type of special capabilities or special system. What the systems is exactly, we're not sure, but we have some hunches, and we have some ideas on what it's doing. It seems to be some type of pilot assist module, similar to the, if you remember, your MNLSs or NLDs for, she kind of motions to like you, Crow, and Patricia. Though I imagine this is closer to an MNLS, something like Gwendolyn or Brew or something would use. Kind of nods. You can see Brew kind of nods as well. Brew's like, so, what does that mean exactly? She says, well, I believe it allows them to have higher capabilities with their unit. Well, at least that's what the data suggests. But that's not the only thing. It seems like it's able to push the pilot beyond normal capabilities. He kind of thinks for a moment, and Bruce like, normal? What do you mean by normal capabilities? And she kind of looks over. Well, this is the thing we're not fully sure about, but the unit's system seems to have or the way that the unit system is set up, it seems to suggest that the unit could push the pilot past past its normal senses and enhance them, past the point of what a creature could normally have.
So you're telling us that she's like taking all this by herself?
She nods and says, yes. It seems to push an immense amount of data through the pilot's consciousness. Oh, actually, they did have the name of it. Sorry, it's called Focus. Alright, yes, it's called the Focus system, or Focus for short. And there's some. Go ahead. Sorry, It sounded like you were gonna say something.
No. I felt like crazy.
I have more details about it. So yeah, she says there's it's notable that there's two things. There's this Focus system, and then there's the Burning Heart system. The Burning Heart Surger Augment seems to be something that was not carried through in the original designs of the Gadab units. They were made for special frame-based units. Henceforth, what we've been seeing. It only works with them. This Burning Heart increases the... this Burning Heart activates a special surge state in the unit. It heats up its weapons and its chassis, and it makes it more easy to cut through metal and pierce through things. However, it causes an extreme excess in charge generation, usually to the detriment of the unit if on too long. Crow Latricia kind of looks over and she's like, huh. It's like you can see they're messing with like the figure, the thing you see, and you can see the unit kind of starts to turn red in the hologram, and then starts to kind of like, almost the metal starts to kind of melt and burn. Latricia says, it's damaging the unit. Latricia kind of concurs, and she says, yes. That's unfortunately the problem, it seems, and why it was discontinued initially. They weren't able to figure out the burning heart's damage to the self-damaged parts. They would need more types of, I'd say, flame-retardant systems or flame-retardant materials. However, it's deemed to be too much of an extensive endeavor for mass production, henceforth why they only installed it in special frames, and they only used it in some of the initial test models. However, that system is in itself a different thing to this Focus system, or a variant of it. Latricia says, Focus, so what does it, what exactly does it do, in more direct terms? Kind of thinks. And she will say, well, What we believe the focus system seems to do is, to put it more directly, we believe the focus system enhances the pilot's psyche and awareness capabilities by sending them an extreme amount of data that the system then can process through visual stimuli. She kind of says, "All right, but the MNLSs can't process that much data. It's not like an NLD, right?" She nods. Says, "Yes, you're right." Like Trisha kind of thinks. She says, "Wait, but if that's the case, why? What would happen to a person that was put through this? How much data is pushing through them?" Latricia kind of says, "Based on our projections, it's nearly 4 times the amount of data the MNLS should normally be able to take." Crow kind of speaks up. He's like, "What would that do to a pilot?" Lashishka says, "That's the concern. In a short burst, it might not be too bad, but in a prolonged exposure, it could leave the pilot into a vegetative state after usage. The data would be too immense for the brain to process. In other words, you could think yourself to death, or near death, at least brain death. Your brain might be able to keep up with the things it's sending initially, but too much data in too short of a time frame can have some very damaging effects, especially on those that don't have psionic capabilities." Patricia kind of looks over and she's like, "Go ahead, sorry, Yumiko."
No. Like, so what? The longer we fight her, the more chance she'll probably go brain dead.
Latricia kind of nods. "Based on what I'm reading here, yes, actually, exactly that." Balin kind of says, "Yes, but there's a failsafe in the system, actually." "Yes, but there's a failsafe in the system, to be fair. Though you could hack around it if you knew what you were doing. I don't think Neil's that gifted, at least not last when we saw them. There's also another troubling thing we found." Shishka says, nods, and says, "And that was?" She kind of says, "There's some type of remote system to these, all of them. If all of these Gadab units are equipped with the same focus system or variant of it, whatever, there's something that we notice in all of them, some type of how would I put it? Receptor." Let's just kind of looks a little bit confused, like, receptor. Raylan kind of adds, "Yes, what I mean by that is someone could send a signal to activate this system without the pilot's knowledge or intent. Meaning that if somebody had the ability to from a main system, they could probably activate the focus system and deliberately set the pilot into this state. They could even probably take off the failsafe that I was just talking about."
So a kill switch then.
"Opposite. An activation switch. A remote activation switch."
Still sounds like a kill switch to me regarding that intonation.
Crow kind of says, "Well, it would kill the pilot, that's for sure."
That's what I mean.
So why do you think they have a remote switch to cut the system on? Doesn't that seem kind of counterintuitive? She kind of said, Raylan kind of scratched her head. She kind of says, "Maybe they're worried about turncoats or something?"
Well, well, we captured some of their men, and yet their mechs didn't like do anything.
That's right. Balin kind of nods, and Latricia's like, "And I don't remember any mentions of any type of remote shut-off switches in their units." And Ishin kind of adds, he says, "And the only reason we put them in ours at the summit was because we suspected something could happen. These aren't standards. This is not a standard issue, I can assure you." The Crow kind of sits up and he thinks, "So that means that this was a custom thing then. Were the Black Adobe units always set with this? Ishin says, unfortunately, I'm not sure. Based on the information we got from the Odelot Enterprise people we have here, they're not really sure. I don't think they had the jurisdiction to know this. Kaya kind of...
Do the
sorry?
do the pilots themselves know about this?
Kaya kind of looks over. No, they don't. She has no, they don't.
So it's like a fail-safe and a kill switch in case they ever decide to turn coat.
Balin kind of looks over and she's like, How do you think they don't know? I mean, it's attached to the system. I mean, Kaya kind of says, I don't think they've been informed about it.
You think there might be some of them that know, but they're like keeping it away from the others? Kind of like blackmail, or not blackmail, but more keeping in line.
She kind of looks, she's like, maybe. I think, though, she's reading through it and she's like, the system, I recognize it.
Oh, from where?
She kind of thinks back. As I look at some things. There we go. No, wait, no, I didn't find it right. Where is it? Where is it? Is it not in here? Maybe I should have looked for it case sensitive. I was looking for... Is it not in here? Where would it be? Give me one moment. I must find the details of this. No. Oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't even think to look at my own fucking notes. My own,
Oh, good.
session notes. It's probably in here. I just want to make sure why she knows about this. Yes, here it is. Let me just read something real quick. Alright. She kind of says, I remember the capabilities of this system. There was something she kind of thinks, a long time ago, I think. Why do I remember seeing this somewhere? I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact specifics of it, but... There was a... She kind of thinks back. There was a time when... I believe it was... Conglomerate? Gorgata? No, wasn't them. No, wait, it was several Griffin foundries. They were looking for a way to replicate certain MNLSs, and they discovered something. Even Everglow was informed about it at the time. But they were trying to do something. But what was it? She kind of thinks. I don't remember.
Do I know it? Do I know?
Probably not, actually. This was pretty secretive information.
Well, Oh, Trish, probably trace your steps. Where did you first saw this?
This was Kaya, sorry, saying this.
Oh, Kaya, sorry. Let me record that.
That's alright, yeah.
Yeah. Retrace your steps, Kaya. Where did you last first see this
He kind
system?
of thinks. I feel like there's more that I am missing. The slip has taken Lewis. Has taken Lewis. I'm sorry.
It is all good. The eatiness has taken over.
Mm-hmm.
And the cost.
Let me look up one more thing. What if I type in focus system? Wait. This might work, actually. Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Would it be here? Oh, I didn't realize I actually opened both these before. Well, that's okay. No, that's the focus stance. Alright, well, let's keep going. Oh wait, I think I found it. I think I found something. Ah, here we go. Yes. This is what I was looking for. Mm-hmm. What's the Okay. I remember, and this is what she would know. She would say, she just kind of thinks back, and you know what, I'll roll for her. Let's see how well she remembers. Yeah, pretty decently with her bonus. She thinks, 26 years ago. Crow kind of looks over, he's like, what? She's like, 26 years ago. Everglow Gorgada and Conglomerate had uncovered an old Architekian record of NLD devices and synthetic enhancements. There was discussions in secret that would transpire. However, Everglow would bow out of any joint venture in any type of program. Declining, they specifically, at that time, when I was working with them, we would prefer to work with Eidolon Sciotech and their technology on things. One, it was already a Garan-based foundry, and you have to remember, this was somewhat during the Rising War. But also, a lack of trust. The information that we discovered, she looks around, and she just says, she looks at Macy and Joe, and she says, I'm going to be very frank. None of you should repeat this to any of your supervisors. Joe kind of looks over. Macy kind of says, if you don't mind my asking, even though I wouldn't necessarily report certain things, why? She says, because it could get all of you killed. Joe kind of nods and says, continue then. Macy kind of nods. Alright, I guess it would be in that serious now. Kyle will continue and she says, while we didn't pursue any of the situation that was happening at the time, we did spy a bit on some of the things happening with these foundries. Gorgada and Conglomerates continued and they made contact with another group at the time that now as Leonidas Vector. And after a discussion, a program would begin. However, supposedly the program ended 5 years after its progress. One of the things they created as part of this program was the focus system, or what I imagine would become what we're seeing here. It was originally a neural enhancement device, reminiscent of the MNLSs, or what would follow as them. It would allow a regular human the potential to become a great warrior on the battlefield, or potentially, it would allow a person who has no engineering or piloting prowess to become capable of fighting even the most skilled combat pilots on the field. However, there was some complications, and namely a disbarred Garan neuroscientist that left Eidolon that worked on this project. The issue was the original parameters of the system. It would, as Latricia, Lyshishka, and Kra pointed out, it could cause a vegetative state, given the extreme amounts of stress put through the pilot's brain. However, we had concerns that it had there were other reasons the system was designed, and I think it relates to the aspect that you were just talking about, a remote control. It was never confirmed, but we believe that one of the ideas of the program, or one of the goals of the program, was to somehow mind control, you could say. Or a better word would say influence, suggest certain aspects of the psyche of creatures. Again, it was never confirmed, and since the project was seemed like it failed 5 years after its start, pretty much everyone assumed that all of the technology and the information was damned to the annals of history. I suppose somebody still found some of the information and decided to try to replicate it. She stopped talking after that for a moment. If you want to add anything.
Honestly, no words to say anything.
Apani?
Mm-hmm.
Is Apani here? Apani's muted, never mind. That's okay. Gwendolyn, are you here?
Yeah.
Did you hear what was said?
No, not really.
Okay, did you? It's fine. Do you need me to? What do you need me to repeat? I can summarize what just happened. What was said?
What are we doing right now?
You're still talking about. Screen's black. You're still talking about You're talking about the focus system, the thing you discovered it was in Neil's unit. Gwendolyn? Gwendolyn.
I think he died.
Yep. I think he drifted again. That's okay. Well, in any case.
Okay.
After that happens, they kind of continue. She kind of just nods and says, "That's most of what I remember. I'm sorry I couldn't be more help." Chris like, "No, it's fine. That's more than what we had." So, a system that suggests things to the pilot? She kind of says something like that.
Suggestion or mind control? What do you think?
Patricia says to a certain extent, there's not much of a difference. If you can influence the interactions of a creature, even subtly, you can call it mind control, suggestion, subliminal messaging. In all cases, it ends the same way. You can influence the actions of a creature to do what you want. She looks to the side. I'm a little bit aware of how that works. Lyshishka kind of says, yes, but this isn't the case of trying to bend people to be being child soldiers that only knew how to fight, Latricia. This could be put into... She kind of thinks. Wait. Lyshishka kind of considers, if what you're saying is true, maybe that's why. Who designed the system? Balin kind of looks over and she's like, unfortunately, that's not something I really am able to glean just with the information that Gwendolyn managed to get. We can tell you what the system does, but we can't tell you much else past that. Why do I feel like that's not Balin's voice? I'm probably messing her voice up, that's right. Well, we can't tell you much past that, unfortunately. Best bet, we'd need to get the system in our hands so we could ascertain some of that. Like Shishka said, so we need to capture a unit then. He says, at least. It's like, that might be easier said than done, though. Well, in any case, add it to the list of objectives then. On top of that, she kind of looks over. What about this unit? And she'll flash on the unit, and you'll hear Ishin looks over and he says, right, this one. This is the Vanguard unit you saw. And he will repeat, and he will say you'll be able to see what the name of it is. What is its actual, like, classification name? I think it's, oh, that's not correct. It doesn't have its full model number. That's okay. He'll just call it the casual or the general name it's given, which is the Chain Jin, is what it's called. The Chain Jin, he kind of says, it's the Chain Jin is what the name of it is. Adala's special secret weapon. When we put this, he kind of says, when we got to the other Adala Enterprise staffers here, we managed to find one that knew a little bit more about this unit. And it was an experimental unit that they had built around a year and a half ago, or I should say started testing a year and a half ago officially. However, the unit was supposed to have been scrapped due to pilot safety concerns. I imagine that if this system is related to this unit, then most likely the concerns have to do with that. It seems as though it wasn't scrapped either. That's just because, no, it seems as if they moved it to the Retribution to be tested then. We'll have to do something, she kind of says, we'll have to make sure that we deal with this then. How many were built? Ishin says, based on what we were able to glean, it seems like only the one. She says, that makes this perfect then. We'll need to take, she kind of says, that's another unit that'll be on the main, that'll be one of the main units you all need to, that will need to be destroyed, or at least taken.
Alright. So we're gonna be dealing with a lot of like Jin, huh? Or just one? Hopefully.
Just one. She says, just the one.
Just one. So as long as it's a fair fight, we can probably take it on.
She nods. We'll see what we can arrange on that front. What are its weapon capabilities? You can see Shane looks up. He kind of says, I believe it is an underbarrel. I believe it is an underbarrel, a machine gun with an underbarrel grenade launcher, hyper bazooka, mounted missile, lock-on missile swarm, mud missiles, flank cannon, or flak cannon, anti-energy shield coating, impulse fist, and he like looks over, anti-personnel shrapnel, flare gun, shoulder-mounted disruptor cannons. And it says, he kind of looks over and, yes, it does seem as if it's equipped with the Focus System version 1. As well as the Burning Heart system. Kind of nods. She says, so it seems like it's mainly focused for ground combat and mobile traversal on mountains and such. That means it should have a weakness in the air, correct? He kind of says, yes, however, I believe the mud missiles are designed to stop that from happening. You can see Crow looks at it, he's like, yeah, it looks like these missiles are designed to bind the target down, keep them from flying. Well, as long as we don't get hit, we should be fine. Latricia says, that's easier said than done, Crow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who knows? They might have some tricks up their sleeves. It's not done.
Latricia says, what about the pilot? Latricia says,
Yeah.
unfortunately, we don't have any information. We have more information about the pilots of the Gadab units, that being Titus's old crew, than we do about the pilot of the Change In.
So we have an unknown.
Goes
We have
on.
an unknown in the. We have an unknown in the gym then.
She nods. Correct. However, it seems that based on the combat data from the last fight that you all in, the other Gadab units seem to look at that one as some type of leader role. Or at least they seem to follow its directions for the most part. When it arrived, it seemed like it communicated that they needed to flee, and they obeyed, even if Neil was reluctant, it seems.
Could it be Umbra? Titus's old, old girl or something?
Crow kind of shakes his head. No, it couldn't have been Umbra. Umbra was with us when the attack happened. She was the one who was trying to get me to turn sides, remember?
Then if it's not Titus's old crew inside there, then who?
She kind of thinks. I'm not sure. It must be someone that's... This is whoever it is. Isheen says, whoever it is, it's someone that's... It must be someone that either Hawari or someone in their group trusts very well.
Is there anyone besides them that you know that'll be high ranking?
He kind of shakes his head. No. That's actually what's going to be part of your next operations. Which she looks over. Yes, we can get into that now before we start discussions about your new machines. She will add. Just grabbing this. Here we go. She will say. Our goals going forward. Lyshishka will add. Or we'll continue. Ostensibly, our goal going forward is to quell the Retribution's efforts, identify and sever the major avenues of funding and armaments, reclaim the major Memorem cities and military sites, and force a surrender of the Retribution ultimately to the Initiative. To this extent, we will be mounting multiple operations simultaneously in the area. We will be splintering somewhat in certain areas of the northern sector of Memorem. Our first bouts will be going to reclaim two of the military sites. We'll be mounting a conjoined attack. Meanwhile, we have two operations that we plan on doing. However, we are going to need your help with both of them. Henceforth, why we'll be doing an operation while you do one of them, and then we'll be meeting together to do the second operation. Of this choice, your options are as follows. Operation Dinner Date. The objective of this, the objective of this operation is to identify Memorem Retribution's main benefactors and to orchestrate a capture of them if possible. They have intel which suggests a meeting will soon occur between we have intel that suggests a meeting will soon occur between officials of grave importance to Alala Enterprises, Memorem Commerce, and other officials in Memorem government.
Correct?
She nods. We believe this is partly to try to bolster support. She kind of sits up or stands up for a moment to the cause of the Retribution. Many of those, it seems, are still abstaining from involvement with the Retribution, especially after Isheen and our broadcast to the rest of the Lapsus area. Along with this, we've received some credible intel that one of the officials, namely a man named Jovan, who is one of Memorem's prolific monetary specialists, we'll say, or bankers, has confidential information that could be instrumental with identifying the Retribution supply routes, as well as potentially their current capabilities and plans, and even Hawari's potential location. We believe this location to be at the Mayhem Manor in the upper echelon quarter of the city of Tarataro.
Any side objectives we need to worry about?
We believe that there are two meetings going on, one within the city limits, probably in one of the underground underbelly areas, as well as one at the manor later that night. So, we will be conducting two simultaneous operations, or moreover, we will be conducting an operation earlier in the day, and we will be reconvening to deal with the second part of the operation, which will be going to the Mayhem Manor. How you wish to do this operation is somewhat up to you, however, we do have some suggestions. In general, we don't need to be at the dinner evening events following after the initial meeting in the morning, or then the midday to early morning. But we do need the information that is in the manor. How you wish to get it, if you want to get it early, or if you want to wait till the dinner date the dinner event itself to do so. Something you'll need to figure out. Past this, she kind of looks over and she'll say, we believe that there's potential that certain individuals could be at this estate, as well as certain armaments and things. You will be in enemy territory, with most likely not much support. Your mission is not to fight or necessarily kill anyone.
Incapacitate them.
Well, if possible, to take some officials. However...
Oh? Hostages then?
She kind of said, Isheen kind of like flinches at the word. She says, no. Our main objective is to get the information we need, and if we can capture certain officials we believe to be major proponents of the Retribution, then do so. But nothing that would place your group in danger. You will be by yourself for this operation. Remember that.
Alright.
If things go south, support would not arrive in time.
Don't worry. I think we're all gonna be pretty quiet, low profile. Ain't that right?
Crow kind of looks over. We haven't really been the best with low profile.
I mean, come on. We're Shadow Guardians, TM. I think we're stealthy enough.
Crow's like, wait, but don't they know who we are in Tarataro? We did help protect that town, or city now, I guess, a while back, right?
They don't know. They know our names. They don't know our faces.
Aren't some of us in the town helping out? Also, there was that whole fiasco, or that whole Memorem festival, or the festival we went to, right? Let's just get...
Yeah, each time, like, yeah.
Yeah, sorry?
Yeah, each time, like, Crow, like, notes down, like, every instance, like, Shadow Guardian gets, like, revealed, the more she starts sweating. Oh.
I forgot we did that. Yeah, Patricia says, then disguise us then. We'll just have to make sure we're very good with them.
When she says that, Imiko actually changes into a human form. Yeah, they only know Imiko, the fox. They don't know Imiko, the cutesy librarian human.
She nods. It just says, even then, we'll still want to do a little bit of gussying up. And you'll need to make sure that you hide your spiritual signature. Those things can be detected. Crow's like, right.
Yep.
The lore says, we should also probably have someone in the back with support. Maybe long range in case something goes bad. And Brew kind of says, and an exit strategy. When of course things don't go the best, or even if we get someone and we need to extract, we'll need something. I might be able to pull some contacts to get us some type of truck or something nearby.
Sounds good.
Or a wagon, potentially.
Probably something flash. Make it more, It's more like, you know, seeing is believing, but out of the ordinary. Probably.
Nods. And Lyshishia will continue. And that leads us to the second operation, or the other operation you can choose. That being Reclaiming Icon. Operation Reclaiming Icon. It should be no surprise what this operation's main objective is. The main objective is to reclaim Iconfall Isle. Added onto that, it is to rescue any prisoners taken hostage or otherwise, and notably confirming the status and rescuing General Tahari Hakma. This would not only deal a devastating blow to the retribution and the area for the area, but it would also improve. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me repeat that. This would not only deal a devastating blow to the retribution for the area's ease of access for staging attacks on the Consortium area and other parts of Memorem, but it would also grant a major morale boost to the Memorem forces in the area, and here currently, as Tahari is a beloved member among the Memorem soldiers. Additionally, the guild is concerned with the qualities discovered on the Isle during the preliminary investigation, and wary of the Retribution's true intentions there. Crow kind of nods to that. Yeah, it seems like when we were there still, they were excavating for some things, looking for something, but I'm not really sure what it was. We never really got the specific details of it. She kind of says
It's
that's
probably
concerning.
that green shit again, like we saw back in the when we were dealing with the Valiant Hawks.
Maybe. I thought it was weird because I thought Tahari said that they weren't going to do that as much anymore, considering the deal that you made with the other guys. Ishin kind of says, perhaps it wasn't Tahari's doing that did this. Crow's like, right, it might have just been people that were masquerading as part of the regular Memorem forces. They ended up being, if they were Retribution, then yeah, what were they looking for? Oh, wait, you gotta thanks. You said there was, I know that we were looking, but I wasn't paying attention much. They were testing me with some things, but what did they discover from the investigation? Lyshishka, do you know? Lyshishka kind of nods and says, unfortunately, while the guild wasn't able to begin its full investigation of the Isle, we did obtain some information, circumstantial as it may be, from the Memorem soldier group that you spoke with the first time you were on Iconfall, and the one that went exploring in the area, in the more centralized area of the Isle a few weeks ago. She kind of says, from what we were able to gather, they encountered an unknown creature, with its origins and typing as well unknown. We currently believe it to be a beast, potentially by the reports, but the way it seemed to have acted, however, the way it seemed to have acted suggests that there's something eerie about it. Eyewitness reports lead to an odd conclusion, we'll say. A mystic that was present said its voice had a bizarre tune to it, and when it screamed or roared, it seemed like it made transceiver communication scrambled. It's why they were not able to communicate back out with the main encampment.
Something that we encountered back at the. Oh, sorry. We encountered the back at where my grandfather worked at, right?
Crow kind of nods. He's like, yeah, communication disruptions due to some type of spiritual signal.
Voices
like,
of real shit.
It's like, you don't think it's the same thing, do you?
That better not be it. I'm tired of that shit. I'd rather deal with mundane shit like this.
Lyshishka says, be that as it may, we're not really sure. Additionally, it seemed like whatever this creature was, it was acting defensively. It did not pursue the fleeing group of Memorem soldiers, and attacked other creatures getting near the area, including the one that had been chasing them. I should note, considering what you mentioned, Imiko, Before they left, one of the last reports we got were that there were odd water chimera sightings near the Isle. Of course, the Guild wants more information and a more thorough investigation. And specifically, we want to know why there seems to have been BOS-infected monsters drawn to the area. And why there's a paracausal signature present within the island as well. It seems to resonate somewhat. All of these reasons are even more of a reason for Icon Fall to no longer remain in the hands of the Retribution. With them mucking things up, there's only a matter of time before they unleash something they don't understand, or take something they shouldn't. Those are the two operations as they are. Your group can deliberate over them and come up with a direct course of action within the next day. But we'll be moving soon. Once everyone is acquainted and ready, we'll start our trek towards Memorem proper.
Sounds like a plan.
Well then. We will discuss your machines shortly. And she will say, however, for the moment, we will have a brief break. I believe that everyone could receive a little bit of some rest for a moment after all that information and deliberation. Of course, it should go as no surprise that information in this room is to stay confidential among the leadership of this group. Macy kind of nods. Of course. Well, I will need to have some report back to the Consortium, Joe kind of says. Indeed. He says, though I will admit, of course, what you mentioned, Miss Claire. She nods. And Elishishka says, yes, of course. Send the report back within the hour. And he says, well then. He kind of nods. And he will take his leave. Macy kind of sits up with you says. And she's like, so, y'all brought some new armored knights?
Indeed we do. Hell, I love my mech compared to the last one though. I missed that little feature called a head compared, yeah. But the Quan's pretty good.
Goes like, alright, yeah, there were still some things I was trying to fix, but I think I got it fixed or tweaked or whatever. There was a system that wasn't operational at the time, but it should be able to work now. Allows us to do certain maneuvers with the program maneuvers into it.
You got anything, what you got?
Well, it's got a headbutt, if that's what you're wondering.
That stars in her eyes right now. I knew you know me.
Yeah, just try to be easy on it.
No promises.
Look at those. She just kind of looks over, and Macy's kind of like, or actually, Crow would say, he kind of says, "Wait, you know Armored Knights well?" She's like, "Well, I am one of the leaders of the Forge Masters, the Forge Masters branch. Of course, I know Armored Knights. Besides, I'm not too bad of a pilot myself." Kind of gives him like a look.
Nice.
He's like, "Oh, I guess shouldn't be surprised, but I guess I am that you're a pilot." And it says, she kind of says, after that debacle that happened in Haiti, we started getting a bit more standard issued armored knights from the Blazecasters. So, we've got some of our new units, the Magnes. They're pretty good in terms of, especially on the ground. They're pretty good in terms of mobility. They've got wheels attached to them, allowing them to drift around pretty good, at least in burst. We even got something working now where we can set the ground set the ground ablaze when we move past it. It's good for locking off areas and putting up putting a little defensive line ahead. It's like, you don't say. Kind of thinks. Like, what about your units? He's like, oh, well,
It's a beast. Let me tell you that. When we first got here, when Crow and Brisk was getting attacked. Oh, let me tell you,
Crow, he actually slaps him on the back.
He like coughs.
This my boy, this boy here single-handedly like took down a goddamn like armored knight in one swing. Isn't that right, babe?
I was kind of a team effort, but sure.
Yeah, yeah, but you know how he is. Kind of shy with praise and stuff.
He's like, you don't say. Well then, wouldn't mind sparring one time or two. So, it sounded like your units are a vanguard, so that might not exactly go well for someone in a normal unit like myself.
Please do. We always like that sparring partner. There's like a little grin, like a little small grin when she says it.
Says, I might take you up on that when it's a bit more of an even fight. Bro's like,
Fair.
well, he's like, well, we could always use a Pearl unit. Oh, actually, we could use the Raven.
Oh, yeah.
like,
We
the
forgot
Raven.
about the Raven, though.
And she's like, what's that? And you can see Balin and like the others kind of walk over. He's like, oh, right. I should probably save it for the meeting, but it's one of the units that I designed. It's he kind of thinks, how do I put it? It's a specialized unit that's made after the Pearl. I used the planet system to make it. She's like, the planet system? I've heard that name be thrown about a few times. Pretty much, but it's kind of been like whispered hush hush. What exactly is it? Crow's like, I'm not really sure if I can tell you the details, but it's kind of what a lot of our stuff is built off of. Yeah, thanks. It's like, yeah, like you can see he's like sweating. Kaya kind of looks at her, and she's like, well, Crow is not allowed to say exactly what it does, or exactly what it is and how it works. The best thing I can say is, I'll just say, it's something that allows you to turn your imagination into something a little bit more tangible. It's like, imagination into something more tangible? Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Seeing is believing and stuff.
Okay. So, anyway, this Raven unit, what's it do? He kind of says, well, I incorporated a lot of ideas from some of the units that we had in our arsenal. The Odysseidi from the Alto, the Pearl unit using it as a base, the Ravenstark pack as well, with a redesign on the wings, making it more kind of a mix between some of the Alto designs and ours. She kind of says, oh, and no Chevalier or no, not Chevalier, no Blazecaster stuff. He's like, well, we didn't really have any Blazecaster information to go off of. She's like, that's alright, I'm just teasing you. She's like, yeah, and well, Raven was meant to be a specific unit for our group. I made it exemplifying all the different combat styles from most of the people in the group, so they're really moddable.
Yeah, and that's a smart boy right here. And helped by yours truly, me.
Kaya says, it's not the only thing that the planet system spat out recently. It's not the only thing the planet system spat out recently. Goes like, He kind of says, something's been being made for Gwendolyn as well. And I like, thanks. A new advanced version, a special frame version of the Vigilance, known as the Ever Vigilance. I'm sure Gwendolyn will want to see it. It's not done exactly yet, but its main frame and design is right here. And she'll flash it on the hologram, and you'll see. I will put the picture of what it looks like.
Ooh.
As I scroll up. Oh, also, I don't think I showed what the Raven looks like, did I?
I don't think so, no.
I will put that in. So, is Gwendolyn here?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, is Apani here? They are muted. They're both muted. No, they're not both muted. Only one of them's muted. That's okay. That is the Raven. You might need to click it because it's a little bit hard to see it because it's the line art version of it.
Ooh. That's sick.
That is the Raven unit.
God damn. That's good.
It just has the pack as well on it. And then this is the Ever Vigilance. That's its armored knight form. It has a transformation that it turns into like the plane that I don't have yet, but yes. That is Gwendolyn's new unit. Kai will kind of say, it seems like this. It seems like it took after Gwendolyn's desire to be more protective and kind of defensive for the party. So so it spat out something, or I guess, built something that would fit that mold better. Instead of banking on speed or any type of mobility, it banks entirely on defensive capabilities, and also adds a new system that might be helpful. And they could act similar to certain things that you can do, Imiko. You know how you can activate your stratagem ability as a tactician.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Interesting. Okay. Oh wow, all of you like took the little detail and put it in this little bad boy, huh?
Well, we pick a lot of the we fine-tune out the details, but the system does all of the work, most of the work. It's why it's such a secret, and also why it's something that's sought after. She looks over at Crow, and Crow just kind of nods. Yeah, and the people that make it are also sought after, I guess. But how did they find out about? Kaya says, that's what I'm still trying to figure out. There's of course a chance that we could have a mole somewhere in the guild that knows about it. And I'm not denying that that's probably the case, but I have a feeling that there's something else going on. Is there anyone that we've mentioned about the planet system to?
Well, besides me, Crow, you, and Apani, the whole team, probably not. Well, unless you want to account for Brew. Unless you want to account for Tommy snitching on some of us. No offense.
Crew kind of looks over. He's like, you know I'm right here, right?
Yeah, that's why I said no offense. Also, get better. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, besides that, I don't think anyone knew. Oh, and Kaya and Shiska. I think I'll ask the poet team as well.
Crow kind of says, has there been? He kind of says, have we mentioned to any of our enemies, our foes?
She's looking back in her mind, trying to see if she would realize anything, but nothing comes out of her. Nope.
Well, I guess we'll just have to figure it out once we capture one of them, if they tell us.
Oh. If they tell us and not try to kill themselves afterwards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kaya looks over and she says, also, I should add, there's a chance that we might run into them at certain points during any of these operations. Well, Lyshishka did say that an objective is to capture one of them if possible. Don't put yourselves in danger to do so, and if the other main objectives are more pressing than that. We'll get. A Crow kind of says, "Are you sure?" She nods. Don't worry. Lyshishka has plans to take care of the Jinn and such specifically. He kind of looks over. He's like, really? Kaya will add, and will nod, and she'll add, yes. If most likely these units are being fielded from certain bases and stuff in the area, encampments that have been built. Once we can start isolating them and we know the supply routes, we'll start breaking down one after another until we find out where they are. And that's when we plan on conducting a specific operation. He kind of nods. She kind of looks over and she'll say, because I forgot the name of it as I look. Operation Chainbreaker.
Always the good name. Always a good operation name for futures.
Latricia will walk over and she'll just say, she just kind of smiles and she'll say, yes, Operation Chainbreaker. It seems like the main operation will be to assault whatever facility or area that the Chain Gen and the other Gadab units are located at. However, that would involve us having to identify where they are. Kaya says, and this is what the other two operations are for. We imagine that we'll probably encounter them in pockets in different parts of these operations. The objective isn't necessarily to take them then. The objective is to push them so that we can find out where they're going to. Crow kind of nods. He's like, He's like, I get it. He's like, so what, are we tailing them? She says, actually, we'll be placing a tracker on them if we can. Once we find the nest that they're staying at, then we attack it.
Well, say we put a tracker on them. You think they're probably gonna like notice? They probably notice.
Yeah, like Crow kind of Latricia says, most likely they will. But Kaya says, yes, I imagine they will. However, even if they discover what where the tracker is, or that we are tracking them, once we start narrowing the places that they can go down, retaking areas back, it's only a matter of time until we snuff them out eventually.
Well, either way, I'm game. I'm itching to like fight them again.
Crow kind of looks over and he's like, huh? Oh, is that the girl that you got that you fought last time? That
yeah. It was a slight mishap on mine, but I'll get my gun back. Don't you worry.
Crow's like, all right. How does Titus feel about all this? We haven't seen him yet.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Apparently he's been getting updated. Let's just say. But I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna join us. Especially with how she taps her chest with this old bitch inside me, like wanting to kill him.
Well, considering what he did, I can't blame you. I mean, knowing his past fully now, it's
I can't blame us.
Well, either way, like Apani said, we can. Even if you can't necessarily find redemption, doesn't mean you shouldn't try, right? I guess the only difference is Titus actually gonna try?
Well, he has. Personally, I'll vouch for him. I've seen him try a lot, but he's stubborn. You eventually get there. You know what I'm doing. You just have to push.
Brew kind of mummers as he's sitting down in the chair. It's the first steps are always the hardest, but once you start walking, you start to catch a pace.
He'll find his own time, don't you worry.
Kara just nods. Brew kind of says, "Are you worried about him?" Kara just kind of says, "In a way, I guess, but it's hard to, I guess, trust." Yeah, it says, I guess I'm not the one who should be saying that you should give him a second chance. But I'm willing, and kind of says, even if I'm willing to at least see where things go.
Hey, if he's trying to like renege on his promise, then you can just kick his ass. Set him straight.
I guess that's true. Well then. Brew just kind of sits up a bit. He says, "Oh, he kind of looks over and he'll like, Gwendolyn, there was something I wanted to ask you about." And he'll like walk over to Gwendolyn and they start talking about something. And meanwhile, Crow will just look over and he says, "Well, I guess we got another 10 minutes before the meeting picks back up. So, or 5 minutes before the meeting picks back up. Might as well do a little stretching, because we're gonna have to start talking about details. Besides, I definitely want to talk more about the capabilities we got now." Macy kind of says, and she kind of says, She has like a frowny face. Crow's like, oh, what's up? She's like, I'm not allowed to stay. Apparently the information's confidential enough that I'm not permitted to stay in the area. I was like, I guess that means we are going to talk about planet system stuff. She's like, yeah, I guess so. Well, in any case, Crow, Yumiko, kind of nods. You all have a good one. I'm gonna go check my boys on the Forge Master ship, as well as make sure that greater heads prevail. Unfortunately, we've been having some issues on the ships. Some of the Memorem soldiers and Consortium soldiers have been getting into it a few times. And I'm trying to do my best to keep those boys and girls from fighting each other all the time. We gotta lock up. We got an enemy that we have to deal with. So I'm gonna go get mine under control.
Also, when you have time for a break, you can always come over here, get some beers with us.
I'll have to take you up on that.
Yeah. Happy trails. Huh?
Yep, she'll hold up a hand and kind of like wave towards you as she heads out the room. And
Nice girl.
Kerr kind of nods. He's like, yeah, I think he kind of blushes a bit. It's kind of funny. Macy was the first one to make me think a bit differently, I guess.
Is that so? In what way? She's like, not like an accusatory tone.
It's like,
not like an accusing tone, but more like, what you thinking about?
He's like, he like shrinks back. He's like, not like that. It wasn't like a romantic thing.
Are you thinking about me?
No, I'm not thinking about you. I was thinking...
Well, she is short after all.
That's not what I meant.
No. She even has... she keeps on talking like the description, like how similar they are, while like Crow is turning redder and redder by the second.
Yeah. He's like trying to shut you up. He's like, no, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, she keeps on like spouting up. I think that'll be a good place.
Yep. We will end there as the intermission ends and the rest of the meeting continues. All right. I would like to thank all of you. A little bit of a shorter one, and by shorter one I mean like a 3-hour one. Normally we go 4 hours. A little bit of a shorter session, everybody, but that is okay. We have a lot of people are tired. It's been a long week. Long week. Yep, you can tell. Long week.
A long week.
Yes, a long week.
Yeah.
However, we would like to thank all of you for watching this session of Shadow Guardians. I did not have the photo thing up that flashed through the slideshow for Shadow Guardians. I will have it up soon. I have gotten, if you're wondering, this is a few days after the me getting the new computer and doing the last Echoes of Stardust session, which would have been 13. So dating this session, real bad. Either way, I'm still getting a lot of stuff set up with the new computer, so there's all that also like stuff in terms of like posts and like updates and things like that. So kind of figuring things out right now as we go with things, getting stuff set back up. But in any case, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like the videos, as it can help boost our stuff in the algorithm. To comment how you think about what you're thinking about different things so far in Shadow Guardians, as it pertains to their next operations dealing with the Retribution, or any thoughts about the characters and such and how they're dealing with things so far.
I see like a comment would be saying, "Why the fuck is Imiko talking? She's annoying. Kill her. Kill her now."
Imiko is here to stay. No death on Imiko. Yet.
Yeah,
no death yet.
Damn.
But yes, outside of that, please don't forget that if you would like to try Dreamforge for yourself, you can do so by going in the description. I believe it's in the description. Clicking the link to the Discord server where we have most of the listed information in terms of the playable stuff, as well as some of the stuff for DMing and things like that, whether it be creatures and things like that. And also just all of our socials if you want to see some of our art, some of that stuff as well. Follow along with the project as it goes along. And also, of course, subscribe to the channel so you can stay posted with the YouTube channel. I'm going to one day get this down and actually know, like, actually do this the best way. But it's all part of the just like free form nature of everything, you know. Just let it roll off the brain or dribble out my mouth. Anyway.
Kind of like a fire in the wind.
Indeed, a fart in the wind. That's definitely the note we're ending on.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. We hope you have a good day, and we will see you in the next session. Goodbye.
See ya. Bye.